All right, guys. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing today? It is Monday morning, January 14th. Thank you all for joining. This is pretty cool. Um, yeah, so if you are, hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay. Little ad right there. Let me silence that. But yeah, guys, how are you doing today? It is great to speak to you. And yeah, everything's going pretty well here. It is cold, super cold right now. So I hope you all have a nice, cozy blanket to wake up to, and some kind of hot drink to wake you guys up. But thank you all for joining. This is great. Please hit the like button as you come in, and just say hello in the chat box. Thank you very much. And yeah, today we're going to be talking about India travel, travel through India, which was crazy, but an awesome experience. Funny, a little bit weird, and but overall it was pretty cool. Then my time in China, because China right now is changing from when I was there. And I would say the golden era of China for foreigners teaching there or just living there or even starting a business and having a life there is almost gone. Because China, the government there has been a little bit too crazy with the rules and the and what's going on now with how they're treating foreigners and foreign business, especially with with these tariffs between Trump and Xi Jinping. So that's going to be something that we'll talk about as well. And also, we're going to be hitting, just teaching and living in life in Japan. So that's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, if you're here, just hit the like button. We're going to chill out for just a minute or two before everyone gets in. And yes, that's going to be pretty cool. Looking forward to this. Yeah, so let me get the playback on silent and we will be good to go. And also, this is also a time for you guys to ask me any questions as well. Any questions about my time in Japan, or if you have any questions about Japan, if you have any questions about anything with India or China related, I can't speak too much on India, of course, because I only traveled there, but China, lived there for 2 years. I'm always constantly keeping up with the news there. Um, and in Japan, I've been here for 3 years. This is my fourth year now. So, and I do want to give a big shout out to two YouTubers who have helped me grow my channel from, I believe, 3,200 200 subscribers all the way to 3,800, which is the two brothers, which are Information Man, and uh, Prophet of Thought series, Brother X. They have been a great support for this channel, great support of me, and my channel has grown big time because of those two. And on their topics, they have real in-depth, deep conversations with themselves and also with a whole bunch of other like inspirational and really smart people. So they are prominently black topics or topics that deal with the black aspect of certain things, but man, they are awesome. They're extremely smart people with a lot of life experience. So um, one thing I always talk about is always, if you're younger, to have people you can look up to, people you can trust, and people you can actually learn from, people you can call mentors, or especially if you're a guy, someone you can have a male mentor, male inspiration to help you throughout life, because that's what we need, especially as guys. And in this day and time, it's more necessary than ever before, because right now we're going through a whole, feminism versus masculine kind of shift, or, battle of the sexes, or I would say even multiple sexes. Because I mean, I'm in Japan, where it's really or in Asia in general, the structure is male and female. There's no, you know, 20 different kind of genders. It's just two genders. And that's just the way life is here. So and luckily feminism, in my opinion, hasn't hit her yet. So that's kind of good. And all the women that I speak to who are Japanese or Chinese, they're trying to fit, they don't really like feminism too much, because right in these countries, women here are taught to be mothers, they're taught to be, wife material, So and they're still very traditional here, which is really awesome. So that's one thing that I highly enjoy. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So anyway, I'm going to give it a break real quick for about a minute as people come in, and it's going to be pretty cool. Let's have that going down. I'm gonna try to send a few more invites to people, so they can join this thing as well. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, 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 yes. That would be cool. I gotta send a few more invites to, I think, 2 more people and see if they can join up. Yes, yes, yes. Live stream. Because I have a Japanese guy, he was in Cambodia, so hopefully he can come through for a bit. And let's see. I think that's everybody who's up right now because it is pretty early in Japan. It's still around 6 a.m. here, so yeah, can't expect too many people right now. But if you're in the States, hopefully you can join. So that's cool. Let me go back to the actual video source. That's cool. That's cool. So, but yeah, I'm not really expecting too much of a crowd today because again, it is pretty early, and I think it is Saturday evening in the West right now. Oh, sorry, Sunday evening. So yeah, but we'll try to see what we can, how many people we can get on here today. But again, if you guys have any questions about anything that we talked about today with my experience, just let me know, and we will go from there. So I think the first topic we'll start off with within the title is travel in India. Travel in India has been was pretty wild. I would highly suggest that if you are interested in Indian food or Indian culture or just India in any way, I would highly suggest that you try it out because India really is a cool place. But I would say if you're going to try India, you have to be a person who can adapt to stuff and someone who can find solutions very, very quickly for your problems. If you cannot do that, a place like India is probably not going to be the best place for you. And I say that because India is really for like the hardcore traveler, someone who really wants to see new things, someone who really wants to experience life, that is complete or experience a lifestyle that is 100% completely opposite to yours in every single way, shape, and form. So, yeah, that is India for you. I would say the first thing when you arrive in India is all of your basically you have 5 senses, but I would say India might expose a few more to you just because it's just so uniquely wild there. It is just it's just like how to say actually before I keep going with it, let me put this link into the Expat Creators group too. I forgot to do that. Let's see. Because hopefully some people can join that way as well. And that would be pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. All right. So we got going, which is nice and cool. So yeah, going back to India, so with India, yeah, like all your senses get exposed to basically every kind of smell, every kind of texture, every kind of sight that you didn't think you were able to see. Because India, you might be driving around and you see like people walk by, then you'll see like a little girl dancing in the street for money. Like it gets deep with this stuff. Like, and then you see like a mom, with a baby just walking around, just dancing with the baby. Then you'll see a guy pulling a cow along. You see a guy riding a horse. You'll see a car or a car right through, and then in like the dirtiest parts, you see like a really nice tour bus go through it. It's like, man, um, it is pretty crazy in India. It is wild. So that you're gonna see a whole bunch of stuff. Like you'll hear a cow. you hear a car, and then you hear someone fart, and then you hear like someone else. It is crazy. Um, but it is one experience that I think hopefully everyone can have, because one thing that India taught me is, or I guess reminded me of, is really how to be grateful for everything that you have, because India made me see Japan in a whole new light, like for real. Like I had a whole new love for Japan when I came back, because when the smallest things are taken away from you, like clean air, like clean water, um, the ability to walk, run, or ride a bike are kind of taken away. Not walking really, but like running and biking, because you have to breathe hard. When those are taken away due to the bad air, like it really kicks in, like how much you really have at home, or how much you really have based on wherever you're based at. So yeah, it's been pretty cool. Um, but I will say though, the Indian food is great, top notch. It is amazing. Indian food is really really good. Um, I was told, because I had a friend, she's living in Thailand right now, but she's from California, and I was hanging out with her. And she was telling me how all of her friends who went to India, they all got sick due to the food. And my thing, I think because I lived in China, I'm very used to being extremely careful with the food that I eat. So, because you're first time traveling and the first place you go to is India, good luck. Good luck. Um, yeah, I would say you want to just, gradually, go from the best to, like, the slums, and then go back up, because my thing is that I start off in China, and China still, it's still somewhat modern, and then you can go in, because China has the best of both worlds, so, but India is just, because even in like New Delhi, like it's still pretty crazy, it's still pretty crazy. I can only imagine what the real slums of India are like, what the true slums, so I can only imagine. But yeah, so it's going to be well, I still want to go back though. I still want to go back, and I want to visit Mumbai, because Mumbai, like Southern Indian food, is because I've had it before, but I've only had the like the it in Japan. But all the Indian people in this area of Japan tell me that the Indian restaurant called Eric Style, which I made a few videos of, is amazing. They love it, and they're from India. They tell me it's great and it's cool. Now, when the Indian person from India tells you what's good and bad about their own stuff, it's probably true. Um, but there are some people who are pretty negative though. So like when I was first going to India, I had an Indian friend. He's a great guy, but he's extremely negative about India, and I can't blame him, because he's from there. So like, like he's probably been through worse stuff that I could ever imagine, um, and yeah, because like basically what he was telling me, what he had, like I can, like what I thought was bad about my life was 10 times worse, like when he was explaining it, about his. And then when I went to India, I actually got to see it for myself, but only a glimpse. So yeah, it was pretty wild. But yeah, it teaches you like just how to be grateful and humble for what you got, like, because everything can be taken away from you. And when the things that we take for granted the most, as in like, I don't know, being able to walk on a clean sidewalk, or even like having a house that has heat in winter, or even hot water, or even water at all, um, those things are things that we take for granted, and that, like, I always cherish, because whenever I take a shower in the winter and I have that hot water, I'm always in my mind saying thank you, just saying thank you, just because I know that this can be taken away. And hell, even if it was cold water, I'm still saying thank you, because like, you know, no water, like cold water is better than no water, Um, of course you want to strive for the best in life, but at the same time, you also don't want to take anything for granted, never ever take anything for granted. And that's something that I highly stress with people. That's something I highly stress with myself on a daily basis. So yeah, that is pretty cool. But let me see. I'm trying to um, see if there's going to be anyone on anytime soon. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, but yeah, guys, within this chat, if you have any questions with India or my time there, just let me know. Uh, Yeah, so it's great. I will tell you this though, in India, you do have to have some backbone though. If like one thing about Asia in general is that I would say aside from Japan and maybe Korea, but Asia in general is that if with I think the political spectrum of America right now is very PC, where everyone has to be very cautious of everyone else's feelings, right? Because I know because I read about it, but I saw a video recently that really like kind of blew my mind though. Because I've been away from the U.S. but for only 5 years, but now it's just completely different. Where like um, some with some like transgender, right? Transgender would have to, because I had a few transgender friends, and they were cool with just saying, I'm not her anymore. I'm him. I'm like, cool, whatever. And or I'm not him anymore. I'm her. I'm like, cool. It's all good. Um, but now they said there's a whole list of pronouns that people have to call, everyone else by, and it's like the words that I've never even heard of or even seen before. Because I'm actually looking this up in a dictionary, and I'm not seeing it, So I'm like, oh man. Because now I think some people say that not calling someone by their proper pronoun that they prefer outside of him and her is a violent act. And to me, I don't want to get too much on the topic, but like, I mean, that's why I want everybody to travel, because violent acts happen. Like, but true violent acts happen, and name calling isn't one of them. So like, and of course, when you call someone by a bad name, it could hurt them. But like, I mean, like getting a pronoun wrong. I mean, I don't want to say too much like on it because I'm not in America right now, and I don't know what the tension is on that right now. But like, going to India and seeing a little girl have to dance for money because she has no parents, that's pretty wild, man. Going to China and seeing guys with like no legs crawling on the ground, that's that messes with your head. It's like, um, going to where else have I been? Going to Thailand, and like, you know, seeing someone, like what what was it? There was a kid, and I think he was just begging for money, just raggedy clothes, begging for money. Now, it could be a scam because I know, especially in China, they do have these beggar scams, but I mean, like, you can't tell, especially if you're a foreigner. So you just have to assume, right? And it's just like, even if it was true, that's still something crazy. But the fact that that's even a scam means someone is poor, So it's um, like that's some real stuff right there. So I mean, like getting pronouns wrong compared to actual real stuff that happened, like real acts of like, I would say even sometimes terror, or real acts of just like true injustice is just I'm in my opinion, it just doesn't compare, And I don't want to bash anyone's lifestyle or anything, but it's just like, because when I saw a video on that, and it like called me about the wrong pronouns, it is an act of violence. I'm like, man, you don't know what violence is. I mean, the words coming out of someone's mouth by saying that shows me that they haven't been exposed to real violence yet. They haven't been exposed to how hard life can really get yet. You know, they haven't, because someone who actually saw like violence or true pain, it just doesn't compare. It just does not compare. So now my thing is, I will always respect someone's right to be called him or her, but like, it's just all this other stuff is just, man, it's that shows you how free America really is, man. Like, ooh, I mean, yeah, dude, it's pretty wild. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I won't get too much into the topic, but because when I heard someone say that, I'm just like, you haven't been exposed to real violence yet. I mean, you've been pretty damn sheltered to say that, So, um, because like sheltered people, like they have not been exposed to stuff that would make you cringe. So, but yeah, um, but yeah. Anyway, I want to get on to the next topic, which is life in China. Now, life in China compared to when I was there and now, it's been drastically changed. And like the last 10 years of China before 2019, I would say were China's golden years for foreigners. And when I say that, I mean for foreigners who have actually made a life there, not teachers, not if you're trying to teach there. If you're trying to be a teacher in China, you can still go there, have a good time because you're kind of a newbie, and you're not really putting in anything into the Chinese economy. So you're not investing any money, you're not investing any real time. You're just there for being a teacher, and you're there to get in, get out. Cool. But what I've been watching on these YouTube videos with people who have literally had a life there, they're leaving. Like people, foreigners, I don't care if you're a black foreigner, white foreigner, whatever, people are leaving. And this has nothing to do with race. It's just people are leaving because like China is making it harder for foreigners to stay. Especially with the whole Trump versus Xi Jinping tariff thing, like the trade war thing. Yeah, being a foreigner there, like outside of the teaching realm, is getting very difficult because people are making, because the Chinese government is making it harder to hold business events, is making it more expensive to do certain promotion deals for certain companies who are outside of China. So yeah, it's getting pretty crazy. But yeah, if you are a foreigner in China and you're trying to start a business, I would say right now is not the time. It is not the time right now. I mean, I guess you can. I'm sure there's a market for something, but I would say for the most part, this might not be the best time to do it. And yeah, there's just a lot of like horror stories with like business in China in the recent years. So I would say just be careful if you're trying to start a business in China, just because they're making it really, really hard for foreigners. But on the bright side, just with teaching in China and living a regular life in China, it's fun. It's fun and it's cool. I had a great time there. I didn't have any problems there, honestly, but I would say that's not going to be everyone else's experience. But I had a great time there, and anything bad that happened with me was due to my own ignorance with something. It was due to my own attitude towards something, toward a situation, or toward people, or just lack of information with a certain topic or a certain situation. So yeah, and I would say the moment I started taking responsibility for my own reaction to certain situations, that's when my life got better, because like I wasn't, starting blaming everyone. You made my life bad, or you made this bad, or you made that bad, or like, because of you, I have a bad. No, no, no. Let's just when you learn about the Chinese culture, you take it upon yourself to learn why people think a certain way, why ignorance is a certain way, why the Chinese people eat, drink, do certain things. You start to really gain the ability to start adapting, because to be able to adapt, you have to have knowledge of something. So because I always talk about adapting to a situation to make it easier on yourself, but you can't adapt if you don't have the knowledge of the place, So getting the knowledge, getting Chinese friends, getting people you can count on, that's really going to be helpful. While also making yourself someone who is approachable, who is reliable, who is dependable. It's going to be something for you to actually gain access to those Chinese people, because in China, the way friendships work is like, if you can get one friend, then you can get into the whole group, right? They'll vouch for you for their whole group. Whereas in Japan, like, it's kind of hard just to make friends in general, So unless you're in like Tokyo or something, but like it's kind of difficult to make friends unless you like kind of in a social area. But yeah, but it's very, very different, because in China, like, you can go up to anyone and say hi. In Japan, you can go up to anyone and say hi, but you're not really going to create a strong bond. You have to give that time, which is, I mean, I would say a good thing, because I mean, like, people don't want to just give their friendship away to just random people. You want to take time with everything. When you take time with stuff, you're able to grow. You're able to allow things to be shared. You're able to allow you're able to allow this person to be their true self in front of you in various situations. And yeah, that's really it. So take things slow is always a good thing. Slow and steady always wins the race. So it's cool. But yeah, China is fun, man. Shanghai is awesome. Shanghai was cool. Going to the Bund, that area where you see all them towers, is nice, especially at nighttime. It is gorgeous. What else? Beijing was pretty cool. I'm not a fan of Beijing because it's so governmental. Oh, guys, hold on one second. Oh, yeah, that is it right here. That's cool. Yeah, so it's good. But yeah, no, everything's cool. So um, what's it called with China? Yeah, just making strong friendships is actually best. So making strong friendships, but if you can take that ability to take things slow in China too, that will like being able to take things slow anywhere you go is going to be beneficial because you can practice patience, practice the ability to allow someone just to be their true selves without judgment. So and that's really an important skill and trait to have, in my opinion at least. Uh, and yeah, so I think it's pretty cool. And again, I had a great time. I had a wonderful time in China. So, um, and yeah, I think if you have any questions of China, please let me know as well. Uh, I think honestly, the last thing that I'm going to talk about is just life in Japan. I've done a lot of videos on this already, so I'm not gonna keep this part too long. But LA City was good, man. Was good. Um, thank you for joining, man. Thank you so much. Hit that like button as you come in, please, please, please. Thank you very much. Hello, sir. Hello to you too. Hello to you too. Salute to you. I'm gonna try to put this out to a few more people so more people can join this thing. Uh, but yeah, thank you for joining. Like, shit, two's better than none, so it's cool. But yeah, guys. So basically, I've talked about India and China so far. If you guys have any questions about my time there, please let me know. Um, and uh, and and LA City, if you want to join, I'm gonna put the link in here. If you want to join, please let me know. So yeah, so that would be cool. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about my time in China, in Japan, in India, I've also been to Malaysia, Thailand, and yeah, in the States. Yeah, so it's cool. Um, but yeah, that is pretty awesome. And I would say, man, like when you travel, like you're going to be exposed to so much that you can't imagine just being at home. Because you're also your mind's going to be exposed to so much more. You're going to be able to take things, or I would say you're going to be able to have more of a perspective on certain aspects of life. Um, you're going to be able to, be more calm in stressful situations because traveling can be quite stressful, especially if you're going into different cultures. If you're going into a different place and you know nothing about this language, the way people are, the way people do things, you're going to have to take things slow so that you can actually so that you can actually gain access to the information that is around you. Because if you're moving so fast, you have no time to digest what's going on. So taking things slow is going to be a very vital trait. Being patient is a very good trait when going through life in general. So that's going to be good. Uh, and like I said before, I was talking about being able to adapt to certain situations. You can't adapt unless you know information. Like if everyone in a country is quiet and you're loud, but you don't know it's quiet, you're trying to adapt, and you're loud. Yeah, good on you for trying to adapt, but still you didn't have the information at first to actually help you to, I would even say, assimilate into this culture. So um and I know for a lot of our people, especially like our Black people, it's hard for us to hear the word adapt, or it's hard for us to hear the word assimilate, or to conform to, because we always want to show the world who we are, right? Or our experience. We want to show the world how the struggle is for us, for our personal lives, and that's cool. However, in the way the world works, not everybody cares, and that's, it's completely understandable. It's not a bad thing, it's not a bad thing at all. Um, and the way to actually make people care about you is actually being able to care about them first. When you love someone first, when you care about someone first, not always, but many times they'll open up to you. They'll share their secrets, with you. Um, but we have to be able to understand them first before they can want to understand us. And if you get someone who actually who's the rare person who actually wants to understand you first, you're probably a good person to be around. So it's cool. LA City, I'm from California, America. A lot of black people don't travel and should see different parts of the world besides America. I highly agree with that statement. I highly agree. Like a lot of our people don't travel so much. We travel. We are people who travel. However, there are tons of us who do not. Um, and I would say our horizons and our mindsets will open so much more, because when you realize everything isn't like black, white, or just American, like you can read about it, you can, see the news, you can see people in videos, but until you experience it for yourself, you're not really going to know. Like, you're not going to feel it. I could tell you all about India. However, until you step off that plane and you smell that Indian air, and that cow versus pie, what's it called? The cow walks past you, and that horse carriage runs past you, and you almost get hit by that car. So it's like, until you go through that experience, you're not going to know. Um, because like places are going to like bust open your senses to their full capacity. Like your senses are going to be used at their prime state. Um, and America's pretty chill because America is just it's America, like everything's calm and chill and good. But when you go into a place that's not as free, that's not as exposed to being able to how to say be creative, being exposed to a place where what's it called, being able to express yourself, right? Because in America, you can call Donald Trump a dumbass. You can call Donald Trump a dick. You can call Donald Trump anything you want, and you won't go to jail. You can't do that in China. You can't do that in India, really. And Indian people won't even allow you to. Thailand loves their king. Thailand loves their leadership. Thailand loves it. I mean, of course, people go against us like sometimes, but you can't mess with the king in Thailand. They will not allow you to mess with their king. In England, I'm sure everyone, is cool with the Queen, right? Like you go to these places and you realize how much freedom you have just to say your president sucks, because China, you can go to jail in China for talking bad about the government. Like, I mean, even like doing drugs and stuff, like marijuana, you can, like in many countries, that's the death penalty for even, having possession of it. It's a death penalty, right? So like, I know a lot of black people talk about, or they disagree with me when I say like everything is in black. Please stop thinking about race so much when you travel. It's really hard for them to get that through their mind, and I completely understand because that's the way I was too. That's why I really sympathize with them when they have this like mind state. However, like and I don't try to force any information on anyone. The only thing that I do is tell how this mind state change has helped me, but yeah, let's see. Wiki 27. What's good? What's good? What's your end goal with teaching abroad? By the way, great videos. Thank you so much. End goal with teaching abroad is, honestly, there is no end goal. There is no end goal. Like, one thing I've noticed in life, there is no destination. I mean, anything can happen. Like I'm in Japan. Like this area of Japan could get rocked by an earthquake, and I could run into a job where I'm in the office doing computers, So like, or like I might be, picking up trash for a living. I don't know, anything can happen. But I would say in the short term, within the next few years, the goal is to open up my own English school, like complete English, like my own English school, because when 2020 rolls around, I love my teaching job now because I'm working for a city government job, which is a really nice kind of cushy job, right? It's nice. It's cool. And because I almost refuse to work at Eikawa ever again, and an Eikawa is like a private language school. I refuse to work that job ever again because it's too corporate, it's too businessy. People care about the money more than they care about the students, So it's like, I don't like that at all, So I work for the government job because at the government job you're teaching from like 8 to 4, maybe 8 to 3, sometimes even 8 to 2 sometimes, and like I can go outside and play frisbee with the kids between classes. I can go outside and play basketball with the kids. I can go outside and if it's snowing enough, play, have snowball fights with my students, especially like the middle school students. It's fun, it's cool. I can be myself at these schools. That can be goofy and crazy in the classrooms. Please watch my videos when I'm teaching, because that's how I am in life, and that's how I am in the class. I'm goofy, I'm crazy, I'm fun. And that's why I like to be in the ACAWA system. You're at someone else's jurisdiction with like their business, and that's understandable because you decided to go to them. But like that's not what I like. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, so like I want to have my own thing. I want to employ people who can actually come with me for a few years or even longer and start a family structure at a business where people are actually happy to come to the business. So because in Japan, many times people aren't happy to go to their jobs because long hours, or people don't like their job. Some people love their job, but and it happens in America too. People go to jobs that they don't like to buy things that they don't need to impress people they don't like. So I don't like that. I don't like that. Because life is short. Life should be fun, man. Like, of course, life, you do hard work, but I mean, like, I could honestly say that, like, and that if I had to die today, I could die happy. Like everything that I want to do in life, I've done already. Of course, there are more things that I would want to do if I was able to have the chance to live longer. But I could say that if I had to go right now, I could actually die happy, and that's something that I would say many people can't say, at this moment. So yeah, but yeah, China is strict. Foreigners got banned for singing the national anthem. Yeah, but China has a whole bunch of rules that are just crazy, man. China will have a rule one day and then take it away the next. Like, China is just, it is one crazy country of just unpredictability, which is why I would not want to live there right now, because visas are unpredictable. They could kick you out at any moment just because they thought you did something. And then your whole life in China is just gone. I mean, like, yeah, it's a pretty wild country. Like I'm glad I went there when I went there, because like the whole atmosphere of China was so different. Like the golden age of China for foreigners is gone. It's over. It's done. Yeah, so it's because I would have Chinese friends who went to Canada and the States to get away from China, and now they want to come back. I said, "Are you sure you want to come back now? Like you missed the golden age of China, man. You missed the golden 10 years from like 2008 to 2018, which were like the golden years of China for foreigners, right?" And like I would tell me, like, you missed it, man. Like it's gone, So now, like I would say, if you're just teaching English in China, just to China, like you're just staying there for a year, yeah, you're good to go, because you're not investing anything. I'm talking about the people who actually invested time, who had kids with Chinese women, like who actually got really invested in the actual country itself, who actually put money into the country. That's gone. It's all gone, So like, they had to move out because they felt like they were being treated badly. The Chinese government made it harder for people in business in China to have business events. Because I know one guy, one YouTuber, he had a whole bunch of really cool tech events, and the Chinese government will actually pay for the venue because they like what he did. But then they say he had to pay for it out of pocket. He said, okay, whatever. And then they actually just shut it down to him, So it's like, yeah, Chinese government is real, man. So like, this is why I say you have to travel to actually experience this stuff, because life is going to get real. And yeah, I was actually talking to a lot of my friends recently, like even about perspective about, like violence, like what some people consider violence and what real violence really is. For example, like I was watching this YouTube thing, because don't forget, guys, I've been in Asia for 5 years. I haven't really been to America in 5 years. I visited, but not enough to actually get the tone of the country. Because I watched this video yesterday about about gender equality and stuff in America, and how there's like tons of genders right now. I said, like, why are there tons of genders? Because in Asia, there's really only this male and female. Asia is very, very, very extremely traditional. I don't care if it's Thailand, Japan, Korea, whatever. It's extremely traditional in that aspect. But they were saying like if like there was one girl who was a guy who changed into a girl, and I'm like, cool, whatever, it's good. But she was telling this reporter dude that if you don't call me by my right pronoun, then that is an act of violence. And when I heard that, I'm like, wait, because my mind went straight to India, like an act of violence by getting your pronoun wrong, like because she didn't want to be called a him or her. It was like something like Zim or Zer or Z. You know what? I don't even know anymore. I'm like, this is all still new to me with the whole pronoun thing. This is very new to me. Like, don't forget, I'm outside the country, so this is not vital in Asia. But yeah. So basically, it's like when she said it was an act of violence, I'm like, you haven't been exposed to violence yet. You had. No one can say that it's violent when they have truly been exposed to violence. No one in the hood is going to say that calling them by the wrong pronouns is an act of violence. No one would ever say that. Like, no one who comes from India or China or like Pakistan or Afghanistan or like anywhere in the Middle East is going to say that is an act of violence. No, it's just you feel uncomfortable. This is the generation, I don't know why. This is the generation where feelings override logic. I don't like that because like when that happens, when your emotions override logic, when your actions are initiated by an emotion, it never goes well. When you make an action out of your anger, it doesn't go well. When you say something out of your sadness or your anger, it doesn't go well. Like because you're basing your stuff off of emotion and not logic. Like yeah, it's baffling, So because my thing, if they spent 1 week in India, they would take those words back real quick, man. Because like that shows a lack of gratitude. Like, I mean, like the fact that you can even talk about, being able to be called certain pronouns outside of him and her. That just shows how free you are, man. That just shows how much you have. I mean, because no one in India is going to be complaining about being called a him or her. Like it's going to be more of a joke than anything else because life is so damn hard there, So it's like, because when you go to India and you see like a little girl with her leg, decapitated and she's begging for money in the street, or you see a mom walking her baby and dancing because she just doesn't have enough money to buy a house or something, like that stuff messes with you, man. Like, and then like you get real grateful really, really quick. When you take a shower and you can't even open your mouth because the water's so bad. Like, this is all stuff that I've experienced, man. Like, this is the reason why I feel that traveling is so important, because you get a real wake-up call to how life really is, and then you actually realize that life isn't just about race. It isn't just about you. There's a quote from the movie Doctor Strange, right? The Marvel movie. Like, Doctor Strange was this really selfish doctor dude who had this great talent, but it was all taken away because he lost his hands, right? And at the end of the movie, the ancient one, the lady with the bald head, she was telling him, like, you are an amazing person. You are an amazing doctor. You have so much skill. But there's one thing that's holding you back. And he said, what? Like, there's nothing holding me back. I am amazing. And she said, that mind state, that arrogance right there, that's the one thing holding you back. You have lost the one true aspect of life. And he said, what's that? She said, it's not about you. It's not about you. This is kind of why I like Japan, because Japan is not about you. Nothing in Japan is about you. Everyone does everything for everyone else. When you're on the train, you're quiet because you don't want to disturb the other people. When you're walking, you don't eat in the street because you don't want to mess up the street that someone else had to clean. Like when you do something in Japan, you're doing it not for yourself, but for the people around you. And that's something that I truly love about Japan. That's something that I really, really love about this place. Any ghetto in America is better than the life in the most country. Anywhere, the poorest people in America are still making within the top 10% of the world population. Honestly, because my thing, the poorest people in America, if you're even on food stamps and welfare, that's more money than what the poorest people in India make per year. Because what you get in 1 month on welfare could be like what most people like the poorest people of India get, per every 6 months, So it's like, because even Chinese people, like like the poor China is fucking real too. Poor China is real. Like the poorest areas of China is no joke. It like these like there, you have to truly understand and realize how poor this world can really get to control the things that come out of your mouth, And even with like a lot of the black foreigners here, they have like a lot of black foreigners, not all, but a lot of black foreigners here who are YouTubers in Japan. They haven't been anywhere outside of Japan when they travel, you know. They haven't seen people crawling on the floor with one leg. People literally begging, not even for money, but just for scraps of food, like and this is why like I preach gratitude with a passion, because like, yo, I mean, this what I have here, this is like a mansion compared to someone maybe in India or China. This is maybe smaller for Japan, but this is like prime real estate for like a countryside, But this is like golden like stuff for someone in India though. Like you have to have perspective on life, man. You really do. And when you have perspective on life, you actually realize how good you got it. You get to see how good life really is for you. And yeah, because man, when that girl said like calling me the wrong pronoun outside of him and her as an act of violence, I'm like, you have not traveled, you have not been around. Like, and my thing is, live your life. You want to be, if you do wants to be a girl, you're a girl. You want to be a dude, do your thing, whatever. But like when you, but when you put the, a lifestyle change like that into your conversation, that just shows me you haven't lived either long enough or you haven't lived hard enough to say that, and these are college students who are saying this, right? So like that is like being liberal to its passion, because like when you tell someone black, not someone black, but when you tell like the majority of black people that you're conservative, most of them kind of get offended by that, because they're like, you should be liberal, you should, Obama, and stuff, so it's like, but me, I am conservative, like not Trump conservative, but I'm like a conservative liberal, because like what's it called? Because my thing is like, I like what liberals do, but I also want that hardcore love in there. I want that tough love in there too, like liberal is cool, but there also needs to be controlled, controlled chaos in there too, so yeah, like because my thing is I'm liberal of be free, do whatever you want to do, that's cool, but at the same time take responsibility for your actions, for what you do, that because that's one thing that the black community has a hard time sometimes understanding, taking responsibility for your actions or the way you respond to certain things. Because being in Asia, I got into Buddhism. There's a lot of Buddhist quotes that can help you out with life, and one of them is, the way someone treats you is their karma, the way you react to it is yours. So yeah, let's see, I understand that. Let's see, go back in comments a bit. I appreciate your insight. Thank you, Wiki. That's good. So I missed the golden age. I mean, like you can still go to China and teach, but just like living there isn't the best thing to do long term. No way. Let's see. Most of them never been to hometown though. Oh, well, most of them never leave their hometown. Yeah, a lot of people don't leave their hometown, and it's okay not to leave your hometown. Maybe you love it so much, but just recognize that when you say something, you haven't been somewhere, your statement is not valid, A lot of black people have to stop thinking America is the only place to succeed in other countries in the world. Most black Americans are brainwashed in a white American society. I'm just spiritual, not religious, even the Most High. Yeah, I mean, like I'm very, spiritual. I mean, like everything is spiritual, man. Like, because you don't have to be in a religion. One thing that I like is I would say if you have to classify me as any religion, it would be probably Buddhist. But like Buddhism really isn't a religion in itself. It's more just a series of practice laws or practice truths that help you out, because each thing Buddha teaches is true. Because what Buddha teaches is that, I'm not saying what Buddha teaches, I'm like, you need to be a Buddhist. No, so like, no, but what these teachings teach is just like, look inside yourself for the answers. You don't need to look outside to an outside source, you know, because when you have to look outside for happiness or anything, you're never going to be happy, because happiness is only from inside. You know, nothing outside is going to make you happy, because everything outside is in the physical, and the physical, everything in the physical is going to disappear or die at some point. Nothing outside of you can make you happy, because if it does and it's gone, you're going to go crazy. So happiness only comes from inside, and the best way to be happy is to be grateful. You know, so that's it. And another great way to be happy is to help someone else get happy. If you can help other people, that just makes you feel so good. It's the best feeling in the world. It really, really is. It's the best feeling in the world. Yeah, I'm just, yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, but that's really all I gotta say, guys. It's just gratitude and being able to be exposed to stuff, man. I mean, because even like a lot of the brothers here, like the YouTubers here, like type in like black in Japan, black in Japan YouTubers, like you'll see, it's like, a lot of these guys say, the black experience like in Japan is like this, is like this, is like this. I'm like, that's just your experience though, because my thing is this, like, this is my perspective about being black in Japan. Black in Japan for me has been just me being a black guy in Japan and learning how to deal with things that happen in Japan, right? Because my thing, I can never say I experienced racism in Japan, because one, I'm not half Japanese. Half Japanese people, like half black, half Japanese, half white, half Japanese, just half people in general, they get true racism, because they're connected to the culture that does not fully accept them, right? So they can say that, but someone who is black, who has no connection to the Japanese culture whatsoever, I just can't say that you can really experience racism. Maybe discrimination, maybe, but at the same time, you're not really ever going to feel it though. Someone doesn't sit next to you on the train, so what, man? Keep your feet up, dude. Like, sometimes I'll actually have a really mean face on the train, just so people won't sit next to won't sit next to me. But no, that's cool. It's cool. But no, I mean, like, it's like, Japan's a cool place, man. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's bad, but your time as a black person will never be as hard as someone who's half. Never, never, never. Like, prejudice is everywhere, man. It's truly everywhere, dude. Like, it's everywhere, man. It really is. I mean, even when you go to the airport and you see a group of Chinese people, probably in the back of your mind, you'll be like, oh shit. So and I mean, it's, I don't know, man. But at the end of the day, no matter what, you have to control it. And you have to be able to help people out. Just we're all human, man. Just chill, just chill. Suicide rate is super high. Should that worry me? Suicide in Japan, the suicide rate is somewhat high here, but don't forget that has nothing to do with foreigners. That's just the life in general in Japan. And to understand why it is, you have to live here, and you have to talk to Japanese people, and you have to actually teach. Teaching here is a big reason, or is a big way to see that. And this is another, big thing of gratitude, man. Like, because a lot of people, not just in Japan, but in America too, in China too, a lot of people do somewhat commit suicide because of the work culture. If they're working hard and they don't get to enjoy life, that can throw someone off the edge. Because my thing is, like, you have to do what makes you happy, and if something doesn't make you happy and you continuously do it, that can mess with your head. And if you're a person who is doing a job where it's not bad, but it's not like where it's okay, but it's not like crazy, be even grateful for that, because, like, the people who do jobs are just highly dangerous and they can't take it anymore, and they just leap, man. They just end it. Be very grateful for what you have, man. Be very grateful that you were born into the situation that you were born to, where that isn't an idea for you, Yeah, it's very, very crazy. Um, yeah. And LAC, white people are the main people dude, that's one thing that's not talked about in the black community, how white people are the main ones committing suicide. Um, and you know, and that's something that I don't want to bring up in the black community, just because like it's always gonna be like an answer of, well, yeah, they're committing suicide because their population is decreasing, they don't have power anymore. Da, 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 da. But I've met some really poor white people, man, and I hate talking about this with black people because it's always, you know, no matter how poor they are, they're always be better than us. It's like, ah. And I say this because everyone besides the, you know, a few friends who have helped me out, the person who taught me how to teach, the person who taught me how to lesson plan, the person who taught me how to you know, love the people of a city and not the city itself, they've all been white, you know, and they've all been really cool people. And I could never really be like, you know, all white people are like this. Like I can't, because I've been helped out by so many of them, man. And for me to say that is a big fuck you to the people who have helped me out, like, you know. So it's like, yeah, I can't do that. And that's just one of the things you just go through when you travel, you know, because I know with black people we always want to travel to more black people, which is okay, but I mean, like, you could, when you experience other people's lives, like one of my best friends, old, like older white dude from Florida, his dad left him, mother was there, but like his mother had was hard as shit, like pure white trash kind of people. Pure white trash people for my experience have been like the dopest people, because they know how hard American can get too. Um, and like for me, he had a life harder than I could have ever imagined in America. Like, um, you know, like he grew up around guns and violence and drugs and all this stuff. Like, because he's a crazy motherfucker, man. But like he loves harder than anyone else I know. He loves people harder than anyone else I know. So like to say like all white people are trash is like, or to say all white people are this or that, I I can't do it, because like that's like when I was in college and like every single, not every single, but like so many black people tell me not to go to China because you're going back on your people. For me to take that experience and then say that black people are unsupportive, that black people are this and that, that's also unfair, you know. So it's like, yeah, no, 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 no. I started off working at a warehouse for years. Started my own plumbing, landscaping here in Southern California. Went from that to owning my own business. Yeah, yeah. Um, Entrepreneurship is going to be very, very important for the future, man. Very important. So many jobs are going to be gone with technology. Very, very important. Like Uber is actually investing in self-driving cars because it's I mean, it's cheaper, right? Like business owners want to save money, and they don't want to hear people complaining all the time about how low the wage is or how bad the job is, right? Robots don't complain, and they get the job done. Their privilege is definitely noticed, but that shouldn't stop us from paving our own path, leaving our own impression of that will set up for the next generation. Yeah, I mean, of course, like, and don't forget, like, even as black, we do have privilege. Don't forget, as black people, we do have privilege. One of this black woman in Thailand, she schooled me on something, because I was talking about, you know, white privilege this and white privilege that. She said, "You're in Thailand, right?" And this was a black woman, like black, dark skinned, gorgeous woman, right? She said, "You're in Thailand." I said, "Yeah." I said, "You have the ability to go to Thailand." I said, "Yeah." You're able to live here without really, without any real problems, right? He said, "Yeah." You were able to come here without a visa. I said, "Yeah." Do you know how almost, unreal that is? I said, "Wait, like, what are you talking about?" He said, "Do you know how unreal it is for you to actually go into a country, not like," and she told me, "Get race out of your fucking head." She said, "Do you know how unreal it is to go into a country without a visa, be able to get a job here easily, and no one gives you any kind of questions or any kind of BS about it?" And I was like, "No." She said, "Yeah, you don't, because you're so on the whole white black bullshit stuff that like that you can't even see, your own blessings." So like, um and this was a black woman married to a black man, like, um and she schooled me like, realize how much privilege you have too. You haven't traveled enough. You have not traveled enough to actually realize how good you have it. Um, um, and it's not really see no color. It's just, I mean, because I mean, you gotta see color, man. Because what do you do at a traffic light, you know? So, you know, so it's like, um, it's not about the color. It's just about realizing how good you have it and stop complaining about how bad you want everything to be, so that you have something to complain about, you know. Um, but yeah, so she's the one who schooled me, right? So and yeah, so that's really it. Um, because one thing, especially with like a lot of the brothers here, I stay away from the black topics with black people here in Japan, because I was already kicked out of all the Black in Japan Facebook groups, because they thought I wasn't black enough, or they thought I was, victim blaming, or da 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 da. I said no, and like they just kicked me out for like having like what I'm talking about now. That's what they kicked me out for, So because if you say anything like white and positive, it's a really bad thing for people here, So um, and because my thing, I've had friends here of all kind of colors, mostly white, somewhat black too, mostly Japanese and Chinese, and they've all helped me out greatly, man. So I can't say that, because at the end of the day, when you're in trouble, and like let's say you have a heart attack, or let's say you get attacked or something, and you need help, like vital life-saving help. Let's say the white person who heard you one time somewhere say that white people are trash, sees you dying there. Why would he want to help you? Or why would she want to help you? You said she was trash, so she might as well act like trash when you need her help, because you have no idea what kind of situations life is going to throw at you, where you might need the help of someone that you call trash, or that you call, so privileged that they don't know what. Like, I mean, like everyone is privileged in some way, man. Everyone is privileged, and that's something that black people don't want to address. That even we're privileged in a way too. Um, like, but you have to travel to understand where your privilege is, and yeah, when you go into countries like China and India, it's not really that you're black, it's that you're a foreigner, I mean, like I can go on this for hours and hours and hours talking about this stuff, but like you got to travel to really see how good you got it, man, to see how good your life really is, to see how good your circumstances of even being, the fact that you were born in America is so damn rare, that it's like, that's gratitude right there, man. Um, but yeah, most other races do see color, especially when it comes to black people. Everyone is not treated equal in this world. No one is treated equal, because no one has the same experience as someone else, right? Everyone's experiences is different, but if everyone had perspective of their life and compared to how bad it is, and also how good it could be, people would act way differently than what they do. Because my thing is like, you're not ranked 7 billionth in the world, right? The little girl who's caged up, about to get raped by a whole bunch of dudes, that girl can complain. The little boy who got his hand chopped off because he wanted to steal an apple to feed his family, he can complain. You know, the man who has to see his daughter, get killed because she's in the bad country, or she's in a country where women really have no rights. Um, he can complain, she can complain. You're not ranked 7 billionth in the world, right? Stuff is hard, life is hard, everywhere has problems, every country in this world has problems, but when you actually can get to see how good you got it, like, your whole perspective changes, and like the way you talk, act, and react to situations change. um and yeah, because gratitude is a big thing, man. And like, and traveling is one thing that will open your eyes up to just stuff where it will open your eyes up to gruesome stuff, it will open your eyes up to cool stuff, it will open your eyes up to tragic stuff. I mean, like you're going to see the best of the best and the worst of the worst that this world has to offer, man. And even when you see that, like, this still's worse shit than that, so but yeah, my biggest thing that I will never forget was seeing that little girl dancing in the street. a baby. She had to be no like 3 or 4 years old, dancing in the street in India for money with her older sister who had to be like 5 years old. Like that boggled me. That blew my mind. Dancing in the street for money, a dirty street, with puddles of just crap in there. Like you don't know what's in that water, like cow shit, or like people probably pissing there, or like man, it's like you don't know. They're dancing in this stuff trying to just survive, right? It's like man, you don't know how good you got it, man. So it's like let's see, I would imagine being a foreigner and seeing another foreigner, no matter what race, it would be relieving. I've heard some awesome stories. Yeah, I mean there are awesome stories, man. There's just so many cool stories. It's just when you put race into shit, it ruins everything. It ruins everything for everyone. It really, really does. So, that's why in my videos I try to be around a whole bunch of people where like if I'm traveling, I try not to think about race too much, because when you think about race, you always want to, put your lifestyle, put your experience on them so they can see where you're from and what you're going through. But that's not really what everyone is about though. So yeah. Oh my God. Hey, what's up, man?
Peace, Asia Travel Guy. What's good, brother?
Whoa. Okay, guys. If you guys don't know this brother, like this is Brother X from the series Prophet of Thought. He has his own YouTube channel. Please go to his channel. Prophet of Thought series is very easy to find. It's the first link. Type Prophet of Thought series in YouTube. First link that you'll find. This guy knows so much. He has so many people on his panels. He does a whole lot of live streams, and because of him and because of another guy named Information Man, check out his channel too. My channel has grown about 800 subscribers within the past month alone. So like so Brother X, I want to say thank you for that. Thank you for bringing, for coming out to me, and that means a lot, man. Thank you very much. So this guy here, and this is one thing I always talk about: when you're young, you always want to go to people who are older than you, because they can teach you so much. And even if they can't teach you what you want to know, they can at least guide you in your decision making processes for certain ways to react to certain things. So Brother X, thank you for joining, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I know we were supposed to do something today, man, but I had a bit of a situation, and took way longer than it was supposed to take. So, when you wrote, man, when I got your message, I had like just walked into the house. So, I was gonna hit you up when I got back, but I was like, it's a long story. But
No worries, man. No
yeah,
worries, man. No worries. I
I
mean, yeah.
yeah, I want to come through though and chop it up with you though for a little bit though, because I know we're supposed to do something today. So,
Oh,
you
for
know.
sure, man. Thank you for coming, though, man. But even having your presence here is a big deal, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. So like, this guy, I was actually introduced to him through my co-host DeAndre, and you know him through a Black in Japan. So because my co-host DeAndre, we actually met in one of those Black Facebook groups, and we've been talking ever since. Luckily, we were able to meet last month. But yeah, like through DeAndre, I met a whole bunch of cool people, and all these older guys have like great topics, great discussions, like but like real discussions though, like really real mature discussions about life, traveling, women, male, female, relationships, like all this stuff, like really real stuff. And I would highly say like tune into these guys' channels, click the bell on the channel so that you can actually see how these guys talk, because it's awesome. But yeah, like Prophet X, like do you have any questions for me or anything, man? Like thank you for joining, man.
Oh yeah, I have a bunch. Cause I know Bij, I know brother DeAndre. I've interacted with him for a while. I had came to your channel, and when I saw that you and him had actually got together, I was like, oh man, that's all right there.
Right.
Because both of both of you are there. And I always wondered, I wonder if they know each other, but I have been checking out your channel ever since because I make it my business to check out everybody's channel that I see come in my chat room, which is hard because
Hmm.
you have X amount of people coming there, but I try to check out everybody's channel. And I saw what you do on your channel, and it kind of reminds me of what Bij does on his. So, I was quite interested in it. But yeah, I guess I'll ask you some of the similar questions that I've asked him. Like, what made you go to Asia of all places? Like, why there?
Cool. So, basically, it started out when I was in high school, right? Had a friend, a brother, and he was into Japanese culture. He studied the language, and I think he became fluent. And he introduced me to Japanese culture, and that was cool. So, when I hit college, I studied Japanese for a year, but the language wasn't really my thing. So, luckily, my Japanese teacher was from Beijing. So she said, well, you should go to China and learn Chinese because China's going to be like the country of the future. I said, cool. So I learned Chinese, and the Chinese language is the exact same sentence structure as English. There's no conjugation. It's just, in English, he is a teacher. In Chinese, I think it's ta shi lao shi. So so same sentence structure, right? Where in Japan it's backwards. So like he's a teacher is kare wa sensei desu. So it's backwards. So the word is in the middle in Chinese and English, but the word is at the end in Japanese. So but it's all really cool. So I got a grasp of the Chinese language, and you know how like when you really want to do something, like the universe just works for you in your favor. So like in college, my junior year, I had no roommate, but I would have to be assigned one. So I'm waiting for like a white guy or a black guy to come in. But out of all people that could have been my roommate, I got a guy from Shanghai, of all people. Um, and we became best friends. He introduced me to all the people that he came with, and we ended up playing basketball because Chinese people love basketball. So we played basketball for like every night for like for the next 2 years, and that was awesome. And then they helped me learn the language and culture more. One of the guys even gave me $1,000 in Chinese money so that I can get myself started off, which was awesome. And then I just went to China for a year, and I did that. It was fun. I learned a lot from different people from all walks of life, from people from Europe, from America, from even Thailand. Awesome. Um, and then I stayed there for 2 years, but it got kind of polluted, and I can kind of tell that the political structure in China was changing because right now in China, especially with Trump in there, like they're having these trade wars. So a lot of business people who do business in China, the Chinese government is making it hard for them to actually bring in their products into the country. So a lot of people are leaving, and when I saw that, because I knew one day I wanted to do my own business. I just wanted to go to another country and see what I can do in Thailand. So I went to Thailand. It was cool, but you can't save a lot of money in Thailand. It's good money for Thailand, but outside Thailand, it's really nothing. But Thailand is a great place for vacation, great place to chill. If you're a vegetarian, it's a great place for that. So it's cool. I went to Malaysia for a while, and Malaysia is kind of the same thing as Thailand. You can't make a lot of money, but it's a great place to travel, great place to chill. Then after that, I decided one more time in Asia, and I decided to come to Japan, and I've been here ever since. Got a teaching job here. I learned a lot. Met my best friend, who's a half black, half Japanese dude, and he schooled me with everything that I know now. And yeah, I mean, that's how I got here, man.
So let me ask you the obvious question: is it better living in Asia than living in America?
I would say it depends on what your mindset is. Asia in general is a place where political correctness almost does not exist. Because there's so many people here, there's no room and there's no point for it. You need to get straight to the point. I would say the only country that's not so that is more politically correct is Japan, because it's a country built off of a community system. So when you do your actions or whatever you do it for the people around you. So there is a little bit of caution for people's feelings. But outside of Japan, really, China, Korea, Thailand, there's so many people, there's no room for it. So if you're someone who is more sensitive, Asia might not be the best place for you. And even with Japan, it's a place where sensitive people can come, but in the business world, it's still very strict. So if you're someone who is late, who isn't really serious, who isn't really who doesn't have that entrepreneurial spirit, Japan might be a hard place for you as well. So yeah, that is for me, I would say Japan or Asia is better for me because I can get to the point in what I want to say without all of these social political correctness stuff, because I was listening to a few YouTube videos recently about and I said this earlier about how they have this whole pronoun war going on with like people who change sexes and they want to be called a boy or a girl now, which is cool, but like now they have a whole bunch of pronouns that I've never even heard of. And there was one girl who was saying to this the guy who was interviewing her that if you call me by the wrong pronoun outside of him and her, then that is an act of violence. And I said, you haven't traveled enough to even say that. Like, anyone who can say that name calling is an act of violence in that law of name calling is hasn't been exposed to true violence yet, because being in India, being in China, I've seen stuff that like will make you like piss your pants, man. It's crazy. Like when you see like a guy crawling with no leg begging for just money, or like little girls who are 3 years old dancing in the dirty streets of India just to survive, like that stuff will make you cringe. And like to see that and to say that calling me by the wrong pronouns as an act of violence, that just doesn't match up, man. So I would say the lack of social pressure here to be politically correct is, I would say, somewhat of a blessing in Asia as of right now. So that's it.
So you know how it is for us brothers in the United States. I mean, every black man knows what that's like.
Right.
So what is it like being a black man, in Asia? I mean, what is that like for you as a brother?
I would say being black in Asia, I would say when you get here, it's not really that you're black though. It's more just that you're a foreigner. Now, being black is going to be is going to be felt by an individual's prejudice or an individual love for you as a black person. But in my experience here, it hasn't really been that I was black. It's been my mindset as a black person. And what I mean by that is coming from America, right? Because I went to China right out of college. When you see all of these, shootings and stuff from the outside view, you get really boiled up because you know that you're not there and you can't really do anything about it, right? But at the same time, you're also around people in these other countries who truly do love you, who truly do care about you, And I'm talking about people from Europe, people from Thailand, people from China who truly love you as a person because of who you are. And one thing that I've noticed is that the way you present yourself, the way that you talk, the way that you react to certain situations as a black person, it will transcend what you look like. And that's going to change people's perception of you and even of the race as a whole. Because one thing I always like to talk about is that each of us as individuals are our own media. Not ABC, not CNN. We are our own media. Because you can get into contact with someone who has never seen CNN, and you are literally their first exposure to a black person. So the way that you act around them, you are their media, And when you teach, like every single like no 5-year-old, no 6-year-old knows about CNN, So you are their first exposure to a black person. The way that you act, the way that you present yourself at your job, how well you how well you do your job, how dependable you are, how trustworthy you are, how well you can get people to like you based on your actions and based on how you just present yourself. That's going to transcend your race. And that's something that I've noticed in the business world and in Asia in general, is that like I've gotten people to like me just because of who I am. And it almost gets to the point that people almost forget that you're black, because it's like they love you for you. And of course people never forget that you're black, but it's that people positively talk about you to their friends and to other people. Hey, Joe's this guy. Joe's a great teacher. Like Joe does this. Like Joe's always on time. Like Joe is a great guy. Go talk to him. Like, because when people say that about you, that makes you feel good. And they're also like, you're also changing people's perspectives on you and your race. And that's something that we as black people who travel need to do. Like, Of course, that's not your main objective of traveling, but when you are able to get people to like you and show people that, hey, black people from America are dope. Like we are people who can be dependent on. We are people who start businesses. We are people who are likable, who can be people you can trust and be around. That changes the whole aspect of how the world really sees us, and all it takes is that one person to start a trend, man. And if you're someone who can, and a big thing about us is starting to help people out wherever we are. Be helpful, be someone who can, make other people happy as well. Because you can make someone happy, that happiness really does, create a domino effect in the society that you're in. So, because the way me and my best friend, who's half black, half Japanese, are able to start a business is because people know our reputation here and are loving to come to our business, not because we're black per se, but because we're just good people who they like being around, and even with my job now, I didn't get my job because I was black. I got my job because I spent the last 5 years grooming myself on how to be a teacher to get a job where I'm under the government now, which the government actually pays for my health insurance and dental and all that stuff, which is a really cushy job, not because I'm black, but because I put the time in to learn from everyone else, and become and become a teacher who loves the job, loves my students, and loves everything that I do and loves helping people. So I would say, like, being black in Asia, it's more about the mind state that you have, because your mind, like the mental, will always override the physical. And if you can train your mind to be someone who is, not going to prejudge someone because you think they're going to prejudge you, like, you can create a lot of good relationships here, or really like good relationships where people will actually want to help you out. And I think for me, that's what being black in Japan has really been for me, if that makes any sense.
So do you have well, I'm sure you do. Do you have access to American media? I mean, like, when a brother gets shot by the police or, that kind of stuff. Do you have access to that stuff where you are? Are you like aware of the things that go on, in the United States?
For sure, always, always, always. I mean, we have all the major news networks here, and even with YouTube, like, you have tons of YouTubers always talking about everything. My thing is, when it comes to the black experience in America, one thing that I like to say is that I don't want to say anything that I'm not experiencing, and I want to give full credit to the people in America who are talking about the stuff, because the only thing I can do as of right now in Japan is learn from the people who are actually on the ground there. I feel like each of us has a purpose in this life, and people who travel, our job is to help people around the world because we're all really connected. The people on the ground, wherever they are, whether it's their country or wherever, their job is to make sure that they make life better for everyone there. So when it comes to, like, police brutality, or just like the way black people are treated in a negative way in the States, I'm not experiencing that. And I'm not the one who can say you should do this or you should do that, or that's not my jurisdiction. I can't say to do something in an area where I didn't experience this situation, So because I know, because everyone wants to be a teacher now. Everyone wants to be a motivational speaker. Everyone wants to be the one that people listen to for advice. My thing is, if you're not on the ground there, if you're not truly experiencing what everyone else is going through, how can you actually say that people should do this, this, and this? Because even though it might make sense logically, you have to put people's emotions in there. You have to put people's, specific lifestyles in there, and you don't know what everyone's really going through. So that compassion is very important. But for me, I'm always aware of what's going on, and I'm always like looking up the news and making sure that I'm at least up to date, close enough to the current events of what's going on. But yeah, for like for me to talk about what we should do as a people in terms of America, I can talk about it, but at the same time, that's not going to mean as much as someone who's actually there going through it, you know? Just like if people in America want to talk about like, you know, life in Japan, your word doesn't mean anything because you're not here. You don't know what's going on here verbatim every day. So I always want to give credit to the people there. And when I talk to people there, I'm always, you know, trying to best understand them, where they're coming from, because they're going through stuff that I'm not going through at this current moment. So I always want to be very compassionate with everyone who's talking about those specific topics.
So I guess you're never coming back to the States, right? This is you. This is where you're gonna be, right?
I can't really say that. It's easy to say now because like the business that we're making is taking off really well, and it's going to be hopefully in full drive within like the next 4 months. But anything can happen, man. Like Japan is a very like wild earthquake zone. Like this place could get ravaged, and that might force me back to the States. You just never know. As of right now, I have no plans on coming back. However, it could change, man. Like, I mean, I never saw myself living in Japan. I never did. So I never want to say no. Especially now, like, because when I did go back to the States for a visit, I saw like that I had cousins I never even met before who lived like 5 minutes away from me because like my grandparents wanted to keep my mom's family and my dad's family apart because they didn't like each other, which is some bullshit. Like, you know, so me and my cousin, when we finally met, I'm 27, my cousin 24. Like, y'all made us lose out on 2 decades of knowing each other because y'all don't like each other. Man, y'all stupid, man. So so we made a vow to never do that again. But like seeing them and seeing that I had little cousins actually growing up, that put the spark in me to possibly want to come back to help them out, because like, or even for them to come out here and show them a great time so that they can see the world. You know, they can see something that I know my family would never even bring up to them in conversation, you know? And that's one cool thing about having Black people who travel. We can actually show each other like parts of the world where a lot of times the conversation would never even be brought up. But seeing them made me have a spark to possibly maybe want to come back one day. So like, yeah, but it's possible. I would say it's possible.
So do you ever get out of Asia? Do you go, you know, do you find yourself in other continents doing other stuff, you know?
I would say right now the only continent I've been to have been Asia and North America. I would say in the near future I am trying to go to Europe for a bit and see what the brothers are like out there, and just what life is like out there, because I heard life in Europe is much different from life in America. And you know, just to get like broaden my horizons, because one thing that I want to do is, you know, if I ever want to have the possibility of having kids one day, I want them to know this world. I want them to know that there's America, there's Asia, and there's all these people. I want them to be extremely well traveled, and I want them to be extremely well versed in information of all walks of life. Because I feel like the more you know, the more you can help people, and the more you can help people, like the more you can, you know, put value onto this world, you know. But that's why I think traveling is really important, because before my friends introduced me to traveling, it never came up in conversation in my household like that I could actually go out and do something. Because even when I brought it up that I want to go to China for the first time with my parents, they said no. So it's like, and they didn't say no because they didn't want me to go. They said no because they were scared, because they had never really been abroad. Because my dad went to Germany for a while, but like that was for the military, a very controlled experience. So but just going out just to go out, like they had never done that before. So of course they were nervous, but like when I actually proved to them that I was really serious about this, when I took the English test, when I passed it, when I got my teaching certificate, they were like, "Oh man, this dude's really trying to do it." And then like that inspired my cousins to want to do it as well. Inspired my cousins not just to travel, but to do their dreams when their parents said that they can't, you know? So like because when I went back home last month when my grandmother passed, like I had cousins that were saying, "Man, I heard about you, man. We just wanted to see that you a real dude. Like, because like, you know how black people always talk about like, you know, they like they want to do something, but they never do it. Like, you actually did it and you're doing it. Like, I didn't think you were actually going to do it. So like I gave them inspiration to actually pursue their own dreams too. So like, when you do what you want to do, you actually give inspiration to other people. And that's something that I've noticed. So it's like, man, it's a great feeling, man. It really is. But definitely Europe. I went to India, which is like, where, Western Asia. That was a whole crazy experience by itself. But even going through India, like my gratitude for my life, both in America and Japan, was raised super high, because when you see how low life can get, it just opens your mind completely. Like because when clean air is taken away from you, when the ability to go out for a jog or even a bike ride is taken away because the air is so bad, when you can't take a shower without opening your mouth because the water is so bad, like that opens up your mind to just how grateful and how good you really have it. And that's one thing that I think my generation is lacking, just gratitude. Like, knowing that like everything that you have, from clean air to a blue sky to clean water, can all be taken away from you in just an instant. Just with a bad natural disaster, or just with bad decisions on government people. Like, gratitude is very important for me, and that's one thing that I've learned with traveling.
So the basic social structure out there in Japan and Asia in general, I know is a lot different than here. So, I mean, when you're not, working and teaching and checking out all these different restaurants that I see you on your channel, when you're not doing that, what do you do when when you're just like out and about? Do you go to movies? Do you, what do you do out there?
Oh yeah. So like, I would say like Japan mirrors America in many ways, because after World War II, Japan got really Americanized. So I do most things that Americans do on a daily basis. Go to work, have fun, work out. Make sure the diet's right. Yeah, I do go to movies, and 2019 is a really cool year for all the movies coming out. I'm really excited for Avengers Endgame. I like what's it called? Now, I was born in '91, so I'm a big Lion King fan. So like, so they just made the live action Lion King that's going to be coming out this year. What's it called? Like there's a lot of cool movies. And like, oh yeah, the new Spider-Man thing's coming to Japan soon, so that's gonna be awesome. Yeah, going to movies, traveling to different cities of Japan. What else do I do? Hang out. Like right now, my big focus is setting up this business with my best friend, because that's going to be our key to getting out of the 9 to 5. And right now, that's what we want to do, because it's just what we love to do. We love teaching, but we love teaching our way, because the education system in Japan is good and in America is okay. But I feel like with the way the world is going to be changing so quickly within like the next decade, we want to teach kids that it's important to have a skill, a very specific skill that they like. So we're going to be teaching how to make videos, how to edit videos, how to cook, the importance of like finding what you love to do, the importance of finding a job that you are really in tune with, so those kind of skills, because those aren't skills that are really taught in school anymore. Even skills like, even when foreigners come through, we want to help foreigners really like live the best life that they can in Japan, because the first year in Japan sucks, because everything is new, everything's super expensive, everything is in Japanese, so you don't understand anything, and we want to be able to just help people out. So that's what we do. But I mean, I also go bike riding. Not now because it's too cold, but like in the summertime, I'm out like riding, for 3-4 hours a day. I ride about like 30 miles, 40 miles sometimes. And yeah, I mean, I I love getting out there. I love hiking. I love like being out in nature, like meditation from time to time. One thing I really want to do is go to like a like either India or maybe Thailand to like these real hardcore meditation practice places and really learn how to truly meditate, like how to truly breathe and how to truly like have that energy in you to actually stay calm in all situations. That is one of my goals to do one of those things. But yeah, I mean everything is cool, man. Like just everyday life, you know, just doing things that people normally do.
So I guess you said everything's in Japanese. I guess that English isn't a second language there. Like, you know, you must know Japanese, right? If you're going to live there, right?
I would say not necessarily, but it does help. It helps a hell of a lot. Um, this is okay. So basically, everything is Japanese, and Japan. Most Japanese people do not speak English, and compared to most other Asian countries, Japan is very, very low on the scale. A lot of Chinese people speak English pretty well. All of India speaks English. India is basically not English is India's official second language. Um, Taiwan people speak English, not a lot, but some people do. Thailand, Bangkok people speak English to some extent. But in Japan, it's pretty low. And when it comes to teaching in Japan, getting a job here, one thing that I highly suggest is that this is teaching certificate, right? It's called TEFL, so TEFL, Teaching English as a Foreign Language. And it's a teaching certificate that most countries need foreigners to have to prove that they're serious about the job. And Japan's the only Asian country that does not require that yet. With 2020 coming up, and with the Olympics coming up, Japan's English ability is going to have to shoot up a bit because they need to be able to talk to foreigners. So in 2020, my prediction is that Japan's going to be a very not is going to take English very, very seriously. And that's why me and my friend, we want to set up our school at the time that we do set it up, because English learning ability is going to be a real skill that people are going to have to learn. And we're going to be right in the prime area to do it. So that's why we're so excited. But yeah, like if you don't speak Japanese at all, you can get by. But I mean, you won't learn the culture and you won't learn how people really are until you start learning the language, because the language actually teaches you or gives you a very vague blueprint of how a culture is. For example, the Chinese language is like English. No, very little. Well, English is very conjugated, but the same sentence structure. Very straight to the point, right? Chinese culture is very straight to the point. There's no run around. Very straight to the point. Japanese, you have to listen to the whole sentence to the very end to get its meaning, which means Japanese practice patience. Japanese culture is about taking things a bit slower. Japanese culture is about hearing the whole story before you make any kind of decision. So the language itself will actually teach you about the culture. But yeah, learning the language anywhere you go is extremely important. And you know, I would say with everything being in Japanese, it can be quite hectic, especially if you're not in the big city. But my thing is, there's tons of online free online courses where you can take to learn Japanese. So right now, I feel like there's no excuse if you are trying to learn the language. There's no excuse not to. The only way you can't learn the language is if you're not putting in the effort to do it. But yeah, that's really it though. That's cool.
So I guess you're an official citizen of Japan now, right? So did you have to go through the whole change in citizenship, and you had to go through all of that rigmarole, right? When you first got there?
Well, to be a citizen of Japan, you have to give up your original citizenship. So I'm not a full citizen. Because I would never be a full citizen. Right now I'm working on being a permanent resident, which is basically you're a citizen, but without the ability to vote or to take in part of any of the government stuff. But you get all the other benefits of what it's like to be a Japanese citizen. And yeah, I mean, I'm hopefully next year, because right now I'm on the 1-year visa, but because I have the government job, that can put me into a position to get the 3-year visa. And after you get the 3-year visa, you can apply to get that permanent residency. So So that would be cool, because once you get that permanent residency, getting a house is easier, loans are easier, everything is really easier because you're basically a Japanese citizen, but without the government perks. But like, yeah, it's cool. So basically, like, I would have America and Japan to always come to, and that would also be cool for if my family ever wanted to come through, because it just makes their life easier as well through me. Because I know this summer my parents are coming through, and this is their first time in Asia, so I'm really excited. Because I want to save up about like just $5,000 and just like give them the time of their life, just like give them like experience the best parts of Japan, and let them just go wild, and just let them see the most cultural parts, the most urban parts, the most modern parts. Let them see what Japan is like, and just give my parents a gift of just traveling, because they did so much for me growing up. So this is my gift to them, because $5,000 is nothing compared to how much money they spend on me. And yeah, so I'm really excited for that. But yeah, like it can be pretty difficult, and I mean, even now I'm learning the language still. One day I might be fluent, maybe, but even if I'm not, I mean, I want to get to the point where I can actually just do everything on my own. And but yeah, that is it. So it's cool.
So when you first arrived into Japan, did you have a translator traveling around with you for a little while?
Oh man, I wish, man, that would be awesome. I wish, dude. No, I mean, like, Japan, luckily there are specific Japanese people who can speak English, so it's cool. There's some of the Facebook groups where people can't speak English, but there just aren't as many. And luckily, the guy that I got introduced to, he introduced me to my best friend now. We've been friends for the past 3 years, so luckily it's cool.
Yeah, well, when I was always fascinated with people who went to other countries and other continents and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And you always wonder if they kind of forget how the states were. Once they're gone there for a while and they've got themselves established, they got better understanding of the culture and how the people live, and they learn the language. Do they kind of forget how the United States is, especially as a black man? So let me ask you this. Let me frame it like this. As a black man in Japan, when you're like walking the streets or going to the movies or going to the store, whatever you're doing, do you feel like the way you feel in America? Because as a black man, you have a certain feeling in America. Certain things run through your mind when you're walking down the street and that kind of thing. Is that like that for you there in Asia? Do you feel that?
Before I answer that question, I think Miss Jaque got on here. Jaque, hello. Jaque, if not speaking, please put the mic on mute, because there's an echo coming through.
Oh, yeah. You can hear me?
Yes. Every single thing that you're doing, every single movie you make, I can hear.
Okay. I am so new at this. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself. Hello, hello.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you see the mute button? Did you get it? Okay, I think we're good. Maybe we're good. Okay, so let's see. So basically, okay, still here. Jaque, mute your mic.
Okay, but I can't hear you. So how do I do this? Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. There's a tab on top of your screen that has a microphone with the crossbar in it. Please press that button.
Oh,
there you go. Okay, all right. So, but yeah, back to your question, Brother X. What's it called? Yeah, when I walk around Japan, man, it's nothing like America, dude. Like, for example, even yesterday, like the police came by. I think they like to do foreigner checks just to make sure that foreigners are legally staying here, because there are some foreigners who do overstay their visas. And they were super polite. They were super kind, super nice, and even at the end they were like, "Yo, if you have any problems, please let us know." They were asking me like what my job was and everything. Very polite, very kind. Like, they asked me for my ID. I just gave it to the police dude, and it was just very calm and chill, very like almost like just like a person on the street just talking. So because they have a list of on who lives where, and then like if they see that there's a foreigner living somewhere, they just want to do a foreign check real quick, because they want to be sure that no one's staying here illegally doing illegal activity. Because like Japan's a very, very safe country, and they want to keep it that way. But yeah, they were really chill. I mean, like at the end, they were just telling me like, "Yo, like because they want to know just about me, like, where do you work?" I think one like the girl worked also in the same city that I was working in, so that was pretty cool. But I mean, it was a really chill experience, and I know that in the States, that's very possible to have a very chill. There's tons of chill, unrecorded experiences of police doing just cool stuff. But at the same time, I do know, even as a black dude, that when you see the cops, I mean, for decades and even generations, we've had this stigma about the cops, where like when we see them, be on your A game, be as best mannered as possible. And
Put the weed in your sock.
Yeah. Right. But even in Japan, like that instinct is still in me right now. So like when you see a foreigner and he forgets what it's like to be in his home country, he's been here too long. Or he really wants to assimilate with the people here, which is never what you should be doing. Adapt, but don't forget who you are. Don't forget who you are, where you come from. Because when you forget your core, you're done. Because people like notice that. Because, for example, I met this English dude, white dude that I used to work with, and he got so into the Japanese culture that he learned the language so well that he actually was talking down to me and to other people, not just like just everyone. And we're like, dude, you're a Western dude too. Like, don't think just because you know the language that you're like not English anymore, dude. Like, you're still a foreigner, man. At the end of the day, you're not Japanese, man. Don't you ever forget that. And we had to school him because he actually was starting to get caught up in like, becoming Japanese. Like, no, yeah, you're a permanent resident, but it doesn't take that much to become one, like, don't forget who you are, man. So yeah, but yeah, like we don't want us or just anyone in general to forget where they're from, because that's annoying. That is annoying. Like when you actually forget the challenges that you actually had before, and you like aren't appreciative of the benefits that you have now, that gets annoying and that sucks. So luckily I haven't met any black people who have done that. It's mostly been like black Americans. No, I lied. There's been one black girl who kind of was a bit too Japanese for me to want to talk to. So it's like, because man, like she came here, and I think it's because she's a newbie here. Like, I think she wants to get where she's from, but it's like because she was super hyper going, like, oh my gosh, I'm in Japan now. I want to do the job so well. I'm so happy to be here. I'm like, you a newbie. You a newbie. But grow out of it, or people grow into it. Now, if you can grow out of it, that's one thing. But if you grow into it, that's just but yeah, it's very important, as you know, to not forget where you're from. Adapt. You might even have to assimilate sometimes, but never forget your core on where you're from. Yeah.
So what's the contingent of black folks like there? Is there a great number of black people over there in Japan, or is it, obviously a minority, but I mean, is there a great contingent, or do you like see a black person every 90 days or something like that?
No, I mean, I would say most of black people in Japan, they're in the big cities like Osaka, Tokyo, Kyoto. They're in those areas because there's just more of us there, but there's tons of black people in all the small parts of Japan. But for me to see a black person isn't common. Just because I'm in the countryside, and for me, I like living in the countryside because things are cheaper, people are nicer, and I can have a larger house for like half the money, you know. But I mean, yeah, most black people are in the big, and there's tons of us in the big cities, man. There's like thousands of us in the big cities, so we're here. When I went to India, I saw a lot of black people too. When I went to Malaysia, they're there. China has a huge amount of black people. Korea as well. I know France and England too. I mean, you know, just everywhere. I mean, in Asia, we're here. Either whether you're African American or African or like whatever, we're here. And we're growing too, so it's cool. Especially with like Japan's population decreasing, we're growing here. So it's going to be getting better and better each I would say couple years. Yeah.
So have you acquired the Japanese taste, you know, far as, you know, clothing, food, like, you know, being over there, do you not like pizza anymore? Do you not like cheeseburgers anymore? You know, I mean, you know, do you not wear Nikes anymore? You know, have you acquired have you acquired the Japanese kind of thing far as your tastes go?
Somewhat, yeah. I would say I've acquired the Japanese mindset, more so than anything. I do want to keep my own kind of style because, you know, at the end of the day, I'm American, so I do want to keep my own style. But the mind state is what has changed. And when I say that, I mean, in Japan, it's about the community, not the individual. And with America, it's about the individual. And when you do things, whatever you do it for someone else, right? And that's one thing that I love about Japan. And when I went back to the States, like I took that mind state with me, and people love it because like you're thinking about them, you know, because in America it's always about me, 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 me. But when you do it for someone else, no matter what country you go to, what I've noticed is that people start to like you more because you're thinking about them, and that's what Japan's that's what Japanese culture is really about. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the mind state is what has changed. You know, being super polite, being super nice, being like, I would say open. Though, like the one thing that I've noticed about myself that has changed is me being able to be more open to everything. And with being open to everything, you are open to taking the hits of life. And when you allow life to hit you, not just in like society, but like with your job, like with getting to know people, like being open to new situations, new food, new areas of a country, just new everything. Like, yeah, there's a chance that you could get burned. Yeah, there's a chance that you could get hurt, that someone could, you know, screw you over. But there's also a chance that like you could experience something that you have never done before, that you have never seen, something that could literally change your life for the better. And everything that every action that you take, every person that you meet, there's a risk that there could be great opportunity, or, you know, some pretty bad stuff could happen. There's always a risk. And that's why I like being an entrepreneur, because it forces you to take risks. So, but I think the mind state of the Japanese has been what has, you know, influenced me the most. But for the positive though. So it's cool.
Well, I'm going to ask you one more quick question before I peel out.
Sure.
When are you coming on the Hours of Power, brother?
Bruh,
I've been trying to get you on there for a minute now, and I know we got this time zone thing going on, but we gotta try to work that out, man. I need to get you on the Hours of Power, brother.
All right, cool. This is the thing, man. Like, you are 14 hours behind me because you're on the East Coast, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you are 14 hours behind Japan. So, if we can schedule a time where, like, I think, because I'm cool for the early morning, like on a Saturday or Sunday. Because if it's like Saturday evening for you, that's like Sunday morning for me. So if we can get some like that kind of time range, that'd be perfect. That'd be great.
All right, I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna hold you to it too now.
Oh, for sure, man.
I'll be right. No, I'll be right. You'll be like, yo, Asia guy, you said you would come on at this time. So
no, for sure.
Let's get down with it.
Because right now it's almost 8 o'clock here. That means it's almost
6.
6. Okay, cool,
6 p.m. 6
cool,
p.m.
cool. So like around this time would be perfect, man. Like
Okay.
around 4 p.m. your time on a Saturday afternoon, 6 a.m. for me on a Sunday, perfect time.
Okay, we'll do something like that then, because I'm about to, because I stream 2 nights a week, but
Okay.
I'm about to add, actually I was actually thinking on a Sunday, because I'm going to be doing an international show, because one of my people that I'm aligned with just moved to Germany.
Okay.
So I'm going to be doing some stuff, talking about things that are going on in other countries. I'm gonna get in contact with DeAndre, because he's over there where you are.
Right.
I'm aligned with a brother too that's in on the continent of Africa, and of course I know ODJ. He's in Poland. So it's gonna be an international kind of thing that I'm gonna be doing on Sundays. I might even start it as early as next week. I'm not sure yet. I gotta work out the logistics, because all you guys are like in different time zones and stuff like that. But I am working on that, and I expect to have you on there, man.
Man, I'm coming. I'm coming, dude. I'll be there, man. But yeah, so the best time for us will be your Saturday night and my Sunday morning.
Okay.
That'd be the best time. So I'm always up early, so it's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you, man. Being so understanding, because I know we're supposed to get down today, but
man, it's always
be
good,
happening.
man. It's always good, man. Like my thing is, thank you for reaching out, man. Like the way you talk and the kind of stuff you put on your channel is like mind changing, man. It really is, man. And I always talk about like young people need this is the kind of like interaction that we're losing in the Black community, like older people talking to the younger generation about how to live life and like what we can do, or just having discussions. Like this is like what we used to do in like in the barbershops, man. This is what we used to do. And that's how like a lot of young dudes got their game, like from barbershop, man. So I kind of hope that with you and with with Info Man, with so many other people, that we can bring that back, man. I hope so.
Yeah, well, my battle cry is open your mind. So
for sure,
I mean, that's all I aim to do when I do this. And hopefully, I used to say this a lot. I haven't said it in a while, but I've always said I've never been in this for the money or the exposure or anything like that. What I've always wanted to do, if I could open one mind, if I could keep one brother out of jail, if I can keep one 13-year-old girl from getting pregnant, if I can keep one brother home with his kids, if I could save one life, all of this is worth it. I mean, everything. I mean, it's all worth it, because saving that one life, opening that one mind is a success. And every person that it happens to after that makes it more of a success. So that's kind of what I aim to do, with my channel, and hopefully I'm doing it.
Man,
so
I love that. I love that, dude. I mean, because even like at the end of the day, all you have is your legacy that you left behind. Your money, like how much possessions you had, all that can get taken away. But the memory of you is all that's left behind, and the impact you had on someone's life, and then like how happy you made someone, man. Like, because if you don't have happiness, then literally like what else is there, man? So like, that, man, I love that, and I hope in the future more of us can start thinking like that, because you are thinking of like you're doing something for the benefit of someone else, man, and that is really how the world needs to work, man. Because if everyone can benefit someone else, then everyone gets benefited,
Yeah, it makes sense, man. But once again, man, I appreciate you hitting me up, man. And I see you out there, man. I see you out there in the airways, brother.
Yeah,
and I
man.
want you, like, I'm gonna say this again one more time. I want to see you on that international show, man.
I will be there. I ain't
accepting no damn excuses.
I will be there. I will be there. But, let's schedule about 2 weeks in advance, so that gives us both.
Yeah. I got you. Cool.
I know you're busy. But yeah, man. So Saturday night for you, Sunday morning for me. We're good to go. Good to go.
Okay. And you said like 4 o'clock, right? Like 4 o'clock Saturday for me.
Right.
For you. Okay. Got you.
Right.
Got you. So once again, thanks, Asia Travel Guide, man. And
I'll be seeing you. There we go.
I'll be seeing you out there, brother.
We'll be good. Thank you so much for joining, man. I will hit you up ASAP, dude.
All right. Peace.
Cool. Thank you so much, man. See you, dude.
Later.
Cool. All right, Jack, where you at? You still there?
Yes, I am still here. And I have a question.
What's up?
When you first got to Japan, I know you didn't speak the language. So how did you acquiesce? I mean, how did you function? How did you get your, your
Very
vegetables and pay your rent and, you know,
well. Well,
cable or phone? I mean, how did it happen?
let me tell you all my mistakes because I screwed up so many times that I can probably be the best teacher of paying your bills. Like getting here. Okay, so the first thing you have to know as a foreigner, you don't pay any taxes your first year because they have no like nothing to base your tax bills off of because you weren't here before. So your first year as a foreigner is really easy, no taxes. You just pay health insurance, which is already really cheap, like $25 a month, really cheap. Um, the second year is when it really kicks in. Um, that's when you start paying your own bills. That's when you start, paying taxes, and those things add up because everything is in Japanese characters. You can't read anything. Making Japanese friends is very important. Getting people who are older than you, who are foreigners, is very important. Um, Getting people you can trust is very important because they can actually help you and guide you. But to get people you can trust, you have to be likable. So be likable. So it's cool. But yeah, my mistakes of money have been like my second year here. I had gas bills and electric bills and all this stuff, and I couldn't read anything, so I didn't know what they meant. Um, and then all of a sudden, in the winter one time, the gas goes off and the lights go off. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, oh shit. So I go to one of my Japanese friends and he said, yeah, man, I pay, that's light bill, that's gas bill, and that's water. I said, oh my God. So the way you pay your bills here is the city will send you bill statements. You go to the nearest convenience store and you just scan it, and then you pay the money through the convenience store. But yeah, like that's always a problem. I mean, even recently, I had a problem of my current job. They take money out of my salary to help me pay my taxes and my health insurance. I didn't know that, so I was actually paying my health insurance and taxes privately, But what I found out was that, like, since the city was doing it, I'm in the process now of getting my full refund back for like the past 8 months, So it's cool. So it's good. But
Okay. I have a follow-up question. 2020, the Olympics are coming your way.
mm.
And from what I've seen with your other videos, I gather that a lot of Japanese people do not speak English.
That is
So,
very true. That's very true.
how is Japan planning to cope with the influx or influx of English speaking people? How are they planning to, like volunteers, the toilet is this way, your tickets are here, this is where they're doing this Olympic sport. You know what I'm saying? How are they coping? And do they plan on bringing in English speaking people to help?
Oh,
Now,
of
this is
course,
a
of
twofold
course.
question because, I might be interested
No. So
in
this is what they're doing.
2020.
So this is what they're doing. This is what they have been doing. Japan has always had English a part of the education, but it's always been like a bullshit part of the education, not really taken seriously. Starting in 2020, English is going to be an official course of language within Japan. That's the first thing. Number two, they already have all the English speakers they need for the English for the Olympics. Like, Japan's not stupid. They know that they need English speakers for the Olympics. They already had the Olympics in 1964, and they're going to have it again. But now English is more so needed than any other time. So of course they're going to have a few thousand speakers of English there. That's no worry. But for the 2020 and onward, they've already changed all the books. The books are much more intuitive than the last one, so they're getting serious about English speaking here. And one thing that I know a lot of Black YouTubers who teach here don't talk about because they can't, because they have private school jobs, is the public school sector. in the public school sector, they're changing because by 2020, English is going to be an official class, an official language, and an official language for course. And by that, hopefully, within like the next 20 years, there will be a whole generation of Japanese people who can speak English. But that's going to take a long time, though, because like for that to happen, you need to start from the kindergarten and raise up the next 18 years for all that generation to be able to speak English somewhat well. But also, I'm pretty sure for their future testing too, English is going to be a big part of that as well. So, yeah, and plus now with Japan's population decreasing, they're bringing in uh, um, many more immigrants from China, from Brazil, from the Philippines, and all these countries speak English. And they have to. So yeah, I mean, Japan's going to have to really up its English game, and it knows it has to. But one thing that Japan's really good at is fixing a problem very quickly, for the benefit of the people as a whole. That's one thing that Japan's really, if they see a problem, they get that stuff fixed quick. And that's what they're trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have another question.
What's up?
Now, considering all the new or anticipated influx of new business with the upcoming Olympics, and I'm quite sure you've noticed wherever the Olympics is going to be, there's probably been like a whole bunch of new construction and all that opportunities that go with that. How are you, or have you thought about, either you or Black in Japan, how to take advantage of the opportunities that are going to come quickly and later on this year and into 2020, to take advantage of all the international people that will be coming in? Are you thinking that forward as far as, okay, there's going to be, hundreds of thousands of people or, coming in to Japan? How can I showcase myself and my business to therefore network and gain new customers or clients or all that? You understand what my question is?
Yeah. So I mean, like, how are you going to take opportunity within like how Japan is changing right now? Like my thing is, I'm in the teaching sector. My prediction is that after 2020, Japan's going to rank up the English teaching skill set that people are going to have to need to be successful in this country and abroad. And what me and my friend are doing, we are opening up our own English school that's going to not just teach English, but teach science, teach basic science, teach different skills like how to make a video, how to do promotion, how to cook, how
Right.
to
Video, all that, because you do that.
Exactly. So because my friend is the real chef, so like so we're all doing this, and yeah, I mean, cool. I mean, it's like we're gonna be in a good position to have our business open up. So because that's gonna be our ticket out of the 9 to 5, and yeah, I mean, it's cool, and even because right now we only want to do it on the weekends just to start out. But I mean, like even with the job that we have now, our private jobs, and that's a lot of money that we're going to be able to save, and a lot of money that we're going to be able to make. So that's cool. I mean, we are good to go.
Right.
But you have to, well, like one thing my father always taught me, you have to get into work that's popular for that time. And right now, teaching is extremely popular, and it's going to be even more so popular than any other time in history within Japan. So yeah, that is our thing. And since we're already well versed in teaching, we're going to be good. We're going to be very much okay.
Is it going to be the summer or winter there, Olympics?
Summer. Yeah.
Really? Wow. I mean, I have a lot of ideas going through my head. So like,
Yeah, Winter Olympics are going to be in Beijing, I think. Yeah.
So Summer Olympics, a whole lot of Black people are going to be there, like running track, doing Summer Olympic stuff.
Right, right.
So, so that means that Black television is going to be there, Black radio, Black, internet stuff. So this is what I'm thinking. You are there, you live there, you're Black. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You do videos, stuff like that. I mean, are you thinking what are you thinking what I'm thinking? Like, you know what I'm saying? You could say, I'm Black, I live in Japan. You know,
I mean, I could do
because I'm just
some blogging there. I could maybe. I mean, it would
yeah,
be
you
kind of
know what I'm
cool.
saying? Because they do a real, if you look at prior Olympics, and you look at their programming, like, it's like 12 different channels have the Olympics on.
Right.
But they also have side stories. You know what I'm saying? Because I hear you say, well, come to Japan. Um, it's great here. You can do good, here. Say like, well, BET is going to be there. So, hey, I
I'm not
live in
sure
Japan.
VT's gonna be
You
there.
know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But you get what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
show aspects and just open, let Black let us see how it is to be Black in Japan, but on a different level, because Black, to
Well,
let
here's my thing. Here's my thing with the Olympics. I don't even want to bring race into the Olympics because it's like, the Olympics is one of those times where the whole world can get together and just enjoy the feats of the most athletic people in the world. Because for me, it's about celebrating the human body and how like extreme eight like you can take it, like the kind of things these people can do with their bodies and with the amount of training that they put in. It's amazing. um and because when I think about because the Olympics is a world celebration, it's a world event. Now I get what you're saying when it comes to being Black in Japan through the Olympics, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, nobody really cares about being Black in Japan when the Olympics come through. They like they want to see what is Japan like, because when we talk about like, okay, because I can go out and say, well, yeah, I'm Black in Japan, and I'm at the Olympics, being Black in Japan. Like, what can I say to actually tell somebody what it's like to be Black and at the Olympics and at Japan? It's just me, a person at the Olympics. There's so many
yeah,
people
but
here.
I see the light going out. I see the light bulb in your head. You see where I'm going with this.
Yeah. So I'm trying to connect it in a way where it's like more, because if I ever did a vlog at the Olympics, it would never be called Black in Japan at the Olympics. The only reason I would call it Black in Japan would be for clickbait. That's it. Uh, and I don't even want to do that. So it would just be my experience, as for someone who happens to be Black at the Olympics in Japan, because there's so much going on, and there's so much awesomeness at the Olympics that my race means nothing. It honestly doesn't. Like, nobody cares. Like, and that's nothing to you or to anyone. Nobody cares. People are there to enjoy themselves. Like for example, at a football game, nobody cares about their race. Everyone knows that everybody's Black in football, but like when you think about football games, you're thinking about the Rams versus the whatever other team, right? You want your team to win. You don't give a damn about who's what color. The only colors you care about are the colors of your team. um so like at the end of the day, the Olympics is about your country, not your look. At the end of the day, when you go back home to America, you're going to be like, yeah, America won this in the Olympics. America did this. America did that. Not the specific Black.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah,
agent
yeah, yeah.
travel guy.
Yeah.
I see exactly where you're coming from,
And
but
and and
you're missing
okay,
where I'm coming from, and
okay.
I'm
Go.
cool with that.
Go.
I'm just bringing up an idea.
Sure.
Okay. So, okay, now, I had trouble getting in. It's my first time on the video thing, but
And thank you
I'm
for
liking
joining.
it.
Thank you for joining.
I'm liking it. I'm really enjoying it. Okay, so let me see. What else? Is it cold there now?
Yeah, no, I
Cold?
mean yeah, I'm trying to say something funny. I can't think of anything. It's cold as shit right now. Yeah.
We had like 11 or 12 inches of snow here, so I've been shoveling all day.
Yeah, I mean it's not like snowing cold because we don't get too much snow here, but it's just cold, man. It's just freezing.
I just thought Japan got a lot of. Oh, okay.
North, no,
Certain
North
areas
Japan
of
gets snow.
Japan get a
Right,
lot of
right,
snow.
right. North, like North area, like near like Russian area, like the same level of Russia, they get hella snow. Yeah, yeah. So it's cool. Oh, you there? Oh, I can't. You got your mic on.
I
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I muted it. I
Okay,
learned.
okay. Cool, cool, cool. No, no, no. But like certain areas of Japan do get like a hell of snow. Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering if it was snowy and cold there.
Not where I'm at. No, no. I mean, it's cold, but not snowy. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, bring up a subject. Let's talk about it. Or
yeah.
you're getting off.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna be up for about another 10 minutes because I gotta go. But I mean, honestly, if you have any questions, just ask me. Like anything's okay. Anything's so cool. But before you start, I want to get into some of these comments because we haven't read the comments in a while. Great saying, man. Thank you for joining. Wiki, you were here too. Thank you. Ao, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. And LA City, of course. Let's see. Well, I think we stopped off in the comments at okay. Just bought mine for $19. Yeah. Okay, cool. You're still working on okay, great saying, man. You're working at the dance studio. I'm not working at the dance studio anymore because my friend she took it over. I was only helping her to build her business up because what she wanted to do, she's a good dancer, but she wanted to add on the English aspect to it. So she wanted to do like dancing English. So I was able to help her learn how to be an English teacher to add on to her dancing. So I did that with her for about 2 years, and now she's good by herself. So she's cool. Most people in cities know English. People in rural areas not so much. Very true. Great saying, man. Big cities have enough English signs and menus. Yeah, I would say so. That's true. There are still many Japanese restaurants that have no English whatsoever. So just be careful with that. You're from Japan, Gohan? What? I traveled to Japan a few times. Cool. Oh, 4 times. Cool. Everyone who goes to Japan always wants to go back. That's cool. If you visit. Take them to Wakayama. Maybe I will check out Wakayama. Unreal Temples. Sure. I will look into that. But I think because my parents are only gonna be here for about 5 days, so I want to take them to Osaka, Kyoto, my area, and a place called Takayama, which is in Gifu. So that's cool. Most of these cities are 1 or 2 hours from train from Osaka. Yeah. That's cool. Good talks. Let's see. Ayo, please keep the race out of in America. I would say race is always going to be a topic. My thing is just don't put race into every single like every single discussion. Because like I said before, the way you act, the way you talk can always transcend the way you look. So that's cool. But I do also want to be compassionate to other people's experiences in America as well. Black person only. The world is not out to get you because you're black. I would say yes to that in terms of the world. I would say people's individual experiences in America might say something different. But I will say that for the most part, at least in the business world, not the social world, but the business world, we want to keep race out of stuff though. Marcus Garvey did say that we must be black first to put our race first. I would say yes in certain aspects. However, one thing that I've noticed about business and how to get relationships with certain people is that when you can understand where they're coming from first, they will be open to understanding you. That builds a team, and then you can build yourselves up together. But in some aspects, I do understand wherever you're coming from. Japan welcomed slaves from America with open arms in a few centuries ago. Yeah, there were some stories with that. LA City, AO was never slaves our ancestors. That is true. I do want to say that yes, slavery is a very strong part of our history. At the same time, I do also want to say that, like, even though slavery is a part of our history, it's also good to know that our ancestors fought against slavery so that we wouldn't have to talk about it. Um, because Harriet Tubman, she took slaves out, went back in to take slaves out, and any slave, even her husband, she shot her husband in the head for wanting to go back into slavery, for thinking about slavery. She didn't want to think about slavery anymore. She wanted to get out so that her and her people could be free, you know? So if anyone went back, she shot him in the head because she was like, yo, if you want to be a slave, you might as well just be dead, you know? So that's kind of mind state that I like to have, like the Harriet Tubman mind state, where it's like, yeah, we were, but let's keep it moving. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Japan had a black samurai. I mean, I'm sure Japan had tons of black samurais. Yeah, so it's cool. LA, did you? Okay, let's not start arguing with this stuff. Let's just agree to just say that we were slaves. Our ancestors fought against it so that we wouldn't have to talk about it, because our ancestors fought for us. They fought for us to be free so that we could do what we wanted to do. Leave it at that. Leave it at that. Because now we're in a state that we are happy with, that I'm sure that they are happy with, but we can actually go out and travel and have these discussions across the world, like instantly, like so I'm very sure that they would be happy that we're not slaves anymore and that we have the ability to go out and do our own things. Yeah, like I always say, have the Harriet Tubman mindset. Get out of it. Don't try to think about it. And if you do think about it, you might as well just be dead, you know, because that's her thought process, and that was how she was a boss. Like she was a badass, like literally, you know. I mean, to be so badass enough that you shoot your own husband in the head for wanting to go back into slavery, yo, that takes balls and guts, and you got to fight your emotions to do that, you know. So it's cool.
I agree with you, Asia travel guy.
Yeah.
You really can't see color. I try not to see color.
Well. I wouldn't say you can't see color, because seeing color is cool. I mean, it's cool to see color. I mean, like, you know, I mean, like, you see all kinds of. I mean, seeing color is cool. That's part of life, and it's just knowing, you know, that color is not a determiner for how you should judge somebody.
That is true. And you have it, you know, there's so many more opportunities today in this day and age for everyone, really.
Everybody. Yeah.
I mean, look where you are now. You know, that's a testament. We're speaking to you, and you're in Japan working as a Black man.
I will say, don't understate your mind state and your ability to better yourself. How am I trying to say this? Like, the amount of knowledge that you have, that you acquire through reading, through knowing people, through even thinking outside of your race, is going to help you out in this current world. Because right now, because here's the thing about Black people that we have to realize: we're going into the world of AI. We're going into the world of robotics, where race is not going to be the number one topic anymore. Race is literally going to be a distractor. That's all it's going to be. That's the only thing it's going to be in the future. And if we're still discussing, if we're still arguing with each other and with other people about race, while the rest of the world is trying to control computers and stuff that have nothing to do with race, we're going to be left behind. We will. We need to get out of this. We need to get out of this race talk, because it does nothing for us. What positive thing does it does? Okay, yeah, so we constantly remind ourselves that we were slaves. Okay, what next? What next? What? Like, you know, like, yeah, we were slaves. We were slaves. Let's not forget we were slaves. You know, it's like, come on now, like, let's keep it moving, you know, like, because even like my great
Well,
grandmother.
it sounds like that's being used as a hindrance. Oh, I can't do this because
No, and it's not that it's
this is
being
why
used
I
as a
can't do that.
yeah. It's just that the conversation that doesn't get us anywhere. That
Exactly.
conversation doesn't like what how is that conversation propelling us into the world of technology? You know, like okay,
But this newer generation, like the millennials and you know the
I don't
generations
know
below,
why.
they don't even consider that. They
I,
don't think about they don't even that's not even in the back of their. I mean, they're not they when I listen to
okay, go.
when I listen to that age group, they don't bring up slavery.
Yeah,
They
we do. What are you talking? Yeah, yeah, we
going on
do.
here
All
and
the
now. And,
time. All the time. We bring it up
they
all the time.
really
All the time. Like
talking about
that.
19, 20, 21-year-olds.
No. Don't forget, millennials are from 85 to 91 to 2000. Um, and like the 21-year-olds are still somewhat in that millennial range. Um,
And they
and
talk about slavery.
oh my God, yeah. Like you know,
I
but
haven't heard.
here's the thing. Like, and my age group between the ages of 30 and like 25, fuck yeah, we talk about slavery. And it's annoying because it's
Why?
like because my thing is yes, we were slaves. I get it. It's true. We all know it that to be fact. And I don't know why we're getting angry when if like for example, if someone white says slavery didn't exist, we should not be getting angry with that. The one who makes you angry controls you. The fact that we get angry still means that we're insecure about the history. We should not be. It happened. Move past it. We have to move past it. We have to keep it going. It's like when someone dies. When someone
I've
dies,
moved
it,
past the Asia travel guy. I've moved past it.
and that's cool and that's cool. But as us as a whole have not. Because we like for some odd
But
reason
why? Why should your age group be concerned about
because we're
how
living. Don't
why?
forget, America has been so good for so long that people need something to complain about. Don't forget when you have like people in your ass about doing the right thing and not complaining, but finding a solution. Those kind of thoughts don't come into your head. But to have that, you like both parents are needed. A strong father figure is needed. A loving mother is needed. Like you need that perspective.
I
For
agree with
example,
that,
like
but
my
I think that's a waste. Just a waste of energy.
it
I mean, I find that concerning that your age group. I mean, you don't know your age group. You don't know anything about Jim Crow.
we don't here's the thing and
You
I'm
did
so
not live
happy that
through
you're
the
here.
civil rights movement. I mean, why are you even concerned? You are reaping the benefits.
I'm so happy that you're here right now because this is what like my grandfather told me. I wish I could be 25 again in 2018 because I would dust all you do. You dudes complain about bullshit. You dudes complain about nothingness. I mean, like police brutality has always been a thing. Cool. Riot, do whatever you got to do. It's a bad thing. Go. It's cool. However, when we start complaining about like how slavery was bad, he's like, you have no right to talk about slavery. You have no like. He schooled me. He's like, you have no right. My grandmother was a slave. You have no one in your recent history that was ever a slave. You have no connection to it whatsoever mentally. Nothing. Nothing. You don't know it. You don't, stop talking about it. You have no idea what you're talking about. Because he said even in Jim Crow, we lived better than you motherfuckers did because we actually had families that cared. Our families were together. Our families weren't always going out having babies all the time. Our families were there. Our families were there. We had a mother and father in the household all the time. In
Well,
slavery,
that's a whole nother different conversation.
but
Because
no,
even slaves had two parent families.
and that's what I'm talking about. Why
That
did that
didn't change until the
until the
late
60s and 70s,
60s.
right?
Yeah,
So the
that's a
60s and
whole
70s,
nother chit chat.
until the Welfare Act came through and the crack era came through. So like, but my thing is like, if we could do that thing, why can't y'all do it now? If we could do it, if we can get married and have strong relationships in slavery and in Jim Crow, why can't y'all do that now? It's
The
easy.
dynamic is totally different.
It's easy, no, because now it's easy to complain. It's so free now that you have the ability to complain. You know,
That's true.
that's it. You have the ability to complain because everything is free. You're living such a good life. You have the ability to complain. You know, when they're growing up, they have no ability to complain. Right now, we're living in an age where you can make a living off of talking about the Smurfs on YouTube. You can literally make thousands of dollars on YouTube talking about the Smurfs if your personality is something that people want to watch.
I believe you. Hey, this is my first time on here, so I believe you.
True. No. I mean, like there are people who do reactions. All they do is watch other people's creations on YouTube, and they make millions of dollars. That was never an option in any time before the year 2010. You know, like nothing. You know, like this is a very free time that we're living in. You know, and I'm not downgrading anyone's hardship because everyone has hardship. However, it's like we always want to bring up slavery, but we have never been through it. We have never done it. And like now, like you have these movements of like the transgender movements, which is, if you're trans, you do your thing. I have nothing against you with that. However, when you have people talking about like, if you call me by the wrong pronoun, that's an act of violence. That's how I know America's too damn soft.
What did you say? Trans what?
Transgender. You have these people, these college students now.
Yeah.
Wait. So you have the college students now talking about if you call me by the wrong pronoun, it's really big in Canada too. If you call me by the wrong pronoun, if I don't want to be called him or her, if I want to be called something more than that, that's an act of violence. And I'm like, you motherfuckers haven't been abroad yet to even say violence. Like you don't know what violence is. Violence is getting your hand chopped off because you were trying to steal the apple to feed your family because your family can't get an education because your country doesn't allow you to move up to move up because you're in a class system like India. In India, most people can't move up because they're stuck wherever you're born, you're stuck at for the most part.
Yeah, that's a whole nother. That boils down to us as Black living in America.
I think
we don't usually travel, and therefore our minds are not as open and broadened to see how other people are really living outside of the United States. So I agree with everything that you said. I totally agree. And once you realize how bad other people have it, especially people who have it worse, that are sometimes darker than us. As
like here's the thing, like it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter about your skin tone. It's about perspective, about how good you got it. My thing is this, right? When I went to China, Chinese people are lighter than us for the most part. You have some dark skinned Chinese, but for the most part, Chinese people are lighter than us. But I would say in third world China, where students, 5-year-olds, have to walk 2 hours to school and on dirt roads that are dirty and stinky, and there's no running water and there's sludge everywhere because the government's not doing crap about the pollution problem there.
Not to mention the people who are working to make clothes for Walmart and all,
those kids too. It's all about perspective. You're not ranked number 7 millionth in the world. You're not the little girl about to get raped, like literally in a cage for some old dude's pleasure. You're not that girl. You're like you're not the one who is about to get his hand chopped off or his foot chopped off because you just wanted to walk outside and your culture says you can't do it at this certain time. You're not that person. This stuff happens. You're not the one who's in a war-torn country zone where bombs are dropping down every day just because people don't like each other. It's like,
And I'm ever so grateful every day. But to speak on that other, the trans, whatever, that's going to be very interesting. And I will probably get a lot of awareness on that when I start with the census in the spring. That's going to be very interesting. How do you categorize? Because on most forms, it's like male or female. So when you do that, that's going to be very interesting.
But I mean, very interesting. because I was using like the trans thing as an example, but I'm like my thing is just America has been so good for so long, people got soft. People are getting soft. I mean, it's true. People are getting soft, and this next decade is going to show how soft America really is, because a lot of like jobs are going to be taken away due to machines, and if you can't adapt, you will die. If you can't adapt, you are going to be working the like the lower end jobs that nobody wants to work. If you can adapt, if you can't create your own thing, if you can't create your own business, or you can't create your own influx of income where you can survive on things, or if you can't get a job where a human being is needed, things are going to get really hectic really, really fast. And guess what? The people who are going to survive are not necessarily are not necessarily the physically strong. They're not necessarily the smartest. They are the ones who can understand the situation that they are in and adapt. And that has nothing to do with race.
It does not have anything to do with race or gender, because many people, white, black, Asian, no matter what color or sex, many people are unaware that of the soon to come shift from human to machine in the workforce. Many people are not aware, and there a lot of people are going to be unprepared.
Because
We
you,
just don't
you
talk
got
about
kids learning how
it.
to,
No one says anything.
because you got kids in school learning how to drive a truck. Truck driving is a dead job. It's going to be a dead job very soon. You have self-driving cars coming out. It's going to be a dead job very soon.
And
Unless you can own
I
it,
agree with
but
that. I agree with
um,
that. I have a good friend who taught, and she resigned because she felt that our curriculum here in the States, and not to say that it's everyone, it's not all the states, but in regards to inner city urban children, the curriculum is outdated. And we were talking about this, and I said, well, you know what? Mm, these babies that are born now, you know, and these children, they know how to work your phone better than you. They know how to work your iPad better than you.
you know what,
They know, their perception is, I was telling her, it's like we are witnessing human evolution right before our eyes.
I
And
I I highly agree with that. We're going through the biggest technological shift in human history, and if you're not prepared, you will be left behind. And if you get left behind in this new world that's coming up, it's going to be crazy. So like and my thing is like you need to be able to talk to all people of all races. You have to in this world. You have to, because people of all countries of different races know more and less than you, and you have to be open to talking to everyone. Because like my thing is that, and you don't have to do, and you don't have to do it all. What I'm saying, this just I'm just telling you guys what has helped me out. Like one thing that's helped me out is actually being open to advice, to help, to knowledge of people of other races, because their experience could help you out with something that you could that you might need help with, right? Because for example, traveling isn't big in the Black community. It's not a big conversation in the Black community. It just isn't. Everyone knows it. It's not.
it's not.
um and like I get it, LA City, thank you for saying that everything on earth was invented and created by Black men. That's cool. But in this day and age, however, it's like, you
That's true.
know,
But how many black men have their passport though at the ready?
that's a great, sentence, and I love that, and I feel that. My thing is just that, you know, we need to be thinking in the present moment though, like all the time. Because we can say, the traffic light wasn't invented by a Black dude. Who cares? You know? Because like at the end of the day, traffic lights are probably going to be digital really soon, and I'm not bashing anyone who's invented anything in the past. My thing is like this world keeps moving, like nothing lasts forever. People's legacies come and go. They come and go. Everything cycles out. Every single thing cycles out. And I think as Black people, like we want to hold on to stuff so tightly because we think that's all we have. this world is abundant. This world is abundant. Like there's so much to grasp. There is so much to claim. There is so much to get. There are an endless amount of opportunities. Because for example, if I'm having a conversation with somebody and we're talking about, you know, history, and I go up and talk about like how this wasn't invented by a black dude, nobody really cares. And it's not an insult not to care. It's just, okay, how is that helping us right now? You know, how is that helping us like right now? You know, so because right now the inventions that are going to matter are the ones who are invented just by people who are going to help the human race in as a whole, as a whole. You know, so it's because me, like, just in traveling all, you know, alone, I've had help from so many people, so many backgrounds. Like, and I know I'm getting a few dislikes because, you know, I'm not saying what people like. But you know, it's just the way it is, man. Because whenever I talk about positivity with other races, I get dislikes from my people. I hate that. I hate that. Because at the end of the day, it's been people all over the world who have helped me out, and I can't deny that. And like, yeah, and that's just the way it is, man. And for me to say, like, you know, this group of people is exactly like this, or this group of people is exactly like that, that's what we hate as black people about what people do to us, you know. You know, and I just can't do that. I will never, like, you know, downplay anyone's experience personally, because I can't talk about it, you know. They can share their experience, and then we can talk about that. But at the end of the day, my like, something that's helped me out is just to be open and just to be, you know, just to take the hits of life, man. And when you allow life to hit you, life will allow you to see what your weak points are, not just as a race. We got to get that out the way, not just as a race, but as an individual, where your weak points are, where you need to be more strong mentally, you know, whether you need to get around people who are better with speaking, better with teaching, better with whatever you're trying to do, you know. So but yeah, that's my thing, and I hope, you know, that's cool to say, because I know that whenever I talk about positivity in other races, you know, I always get the thumbs down from my people, and I don't like that.
Neither.
So yeah.
I think you're looking at the bigger picture more so than an individual plight, because you won't be able to move forward in progress if there's always something getting in the way. I mean, you know, you have to overcome eventually, and overcoming shouldn't take forever. You
Now,
know what I'm
here's my thing. You don't want to deny the black experience. You never want to deny that. However, you also want to be
no way
open to
for me
everything
to
else as well.
deny it. I'm black. I'm going to be
Right,
black
right, right,
until
right,
I
right,
die. I can't change that. I'm glad I'm black. I appreciate my melanin. I really do. You know, I like it. But I'm not going to complain that all the time. You know, I understand how the world works. I understand the plight of, you know, I live in an urban area. I see it every day, but I have my own opinion about why it's happening, you know, different things, shoot, you know, whatever. I have my own opinion about it, just like you have your own opinion, and you should be free to express it. That's freedom. So
yeah.
if that's
I was to talk with I think Ayo just left the comment. He said many races of men don't have passports. That is what it is. Once we want it, we'll go get one. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, and Ayo, that's perfect. Like that can be said with anything in life. If you want one, you're gonna go get one. You know, if you want that job, you're gonna put the time and work and effort in, you know, to get that job. If you want to you know, do whatever you want to do, you're going to put the time, effort, you know, the sweat, the hard, the late nights, whatever it is that it takes to get whatever you want. And some people just don't want to travel, and that is, you know, just their thing, and you got to respect that. I would say it's just, you know, because I can talk about the benefits of travel, but again, travel really isn't for everyone, just like everything isn't for everyone, and which is cool. Because me, like, you know, being a doctor isn't for me, so I'm not going to go with the route to be a doctor, you know. So but yeah, I mean, like, if it is for you, it is for you. If it's not, it's not. I would the only thing that I would say is just I hope that people can learn perspective, or at least acknowledge perspective on how good or bad their lives really are compared to other people. It's just that when you do travel, you get to see how low life can really get. And that puts a bigger perspective on what you have, and then like what you can be grateful for. Um, and then and again, that doesn't have anything to do with race. It's just life, you know. Life sucks for everyone at some point. Some more than others, obviously. But based on where you are, I mean, like each level has its own problems. Like, because I know people who are poor, they always hate the rich because they think the rich is just this lavish life. But I mean, you have no idea how many millionaires and billionaires kill themselves because they're still not happy. At the end of the day, happiness will keep you going. Like, no, like no matter how much money you have, if you're not happy, you will take your own life, you know. So it's like, or you will live your life in a very depressed state, which is like what money can't fix, unfortunately, you know. Because for me, you already have to be happy, or you already have to love yourself to allow that money to do what it's there to do, to be a tool, not a happiness initiator, you know. So but yeah, I think I'm going to get off soon because I got to go. But Jackie, thank you so much, and I want to say again, thank you to Brother X for being on here. Guys, please check out Brother X. He is a very cool guy. I love talking to him because him and a whole bunch of older black dudes, they are on topics where it's just they challenge the thought of the current mind state of many people, and they are all about tough love, and they're all about basically being your greatest self and talking about real topics, talking about real stuff. Like they talk about feminism. They talk about how, you know, like masculine and feminine are being switched in America right now. They talk about like what it's like to be a single father, what it's like to be a single mother, what it's like, you know, from the male perspective to, you know, to go through life, you know. It's really real deep talk. So please check them out. Also, the Brother Information Man. Like my channel is at 3,800 subscribers right now, guys. Literally 3 weeks ago, it was at like 34, 33. So thanks to those guys, it's getting up in there. So and if those guys are coming to me, I know I'm doing something right, because those guys are amazing. They study hard. They know their crap. They know their information. So that's cool. So even if I'm getting dislikes on these videos, I know for a fact that if they're coming to me, I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, with that being said, Jackie, thank you so much. And everyone who was in the chat, thank you so much, guys. I will be back later. And yeah, I got a video coming out where I was just acting goofy at my friend's restaurant. So, but yeah, with that being said, Jackie, I got to go. Thank you all for joining. And oh, Jackie, did you have any last words? Jackie.
Oh, no, just thank you for having me.
Cool. Sounds good. And I'll talk to you after the chat later. But
Okay.
yeah. So thank you so much. And with that, peace.